All right, we are beginning to jump in with the D&D stream. We will introduce ourselves real quick. Hello, everyone. I am
Oh,
the guru of the uncommon variety, Uncommon Guru, and I will be the DM for this session this evening for the game which currently has the working title of Temptations of Aitse. With me are my beautiful, wonderful friends, Paris,
Hello.
Madrino,
How goes it, everyone?
and Michael, also known as Varen.
good evening, everyone.
All right, and if you guys are all ready,
As ready as I'll ever be. This is
Certainly.
words.
Just
wunderbar.
started.
Let us begin. The land of Aitse has been in a state of turmoil and peace, ups and downs as every good nation is. Within the nation that you've all been working through, the land of Cormundum, you guys have been each doing your own things. But as life would come together, you guys have been brought together with a request from the Earl of the land. Outside of the waiting room sit two of you. Paris, if you would like to describe your appearance for the audience.
Alright. Nivar is obviously someone who spends most of her time out in the woods. She's not quite as dirty as she should look, however, it seems like something is quite off. Her hair is long and white, and her skin is dark, as you would expect from someone of her race. Currently, she looks tense, like she's ready to bolt. But it.
And across from her, sitting tentatively waiting as he was summoned by the Earl here, Madrina, would you like to introduce your character as well?
All right. Before you sits a rather tall gentleman, about 6.5, maybe a little bit taller than 6.5 feet tall. Dusky skin, white hair, gray eyes. A rather inquisitive look on his face, glancing about the room. He doesn't spend much time amongst more civilized people, civilized places, so this is a new experience for him.
Outside the door, mounted on each side of it, are two guards who have their arms crossed until they hear a knock at the door, a summons for the both of you, at which they both straighten to attention, turn and open the doors, and motion for you both to enter. Upon entering the area, it is sparsely decorated. This man does not appear to be a man of much material gains and such like that. There are two banners behind him, one which you've seen throughout the city. It is the banner of the Waycrest, as well as the banner of Cormundum Kingdom. Sitting at a little high-rised chair, not meant to look too much down on them, but to show that he is of an elevated position, is Earl Waycrest himself. Standing next to him is a more sophisticated-looking gentleman, which, speaking of which, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. What you see is a light green skin with darker green scales upon his face. He has on a deep red cloak with bronze and metalwork with deep yellow eyes and long black hair, but you won't be able to see that with his hood up. And he's just looking out down at the people who walked in.
Wait, like looking down his nose?
Like, he's up on a little high
I'm
rise with
looking
him.
at you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like again, he's up on the high rise
That's
with Earl. Right, so, as you both enter, the Earl shifts in his seat a little bit, leans forward, gives you a very speculative look, but gives a short nod as you both come and approach where you can see him quite clearly as he gives a little nod. Welcome again, my fellows. It's been some time since I've been able to accommodate and entertain such guests, though sadly the circumstances with which I have had to request you are more bleak than I would have wished. Forgive me for that. Kind of looks between you both, trying to gauge your expressions. After a moment, he gives another nod. The reasoning for my request is that the timing of my advisor's illness could not have been at a more inopportune time. He has fallen sick by the bedside. I've kind of motions towards Varen's character. He gives a little nod. I've had his son advising me in the meantime. However, there is much that still needs to be done, and I require the utmost assistance of my fellows. I would send guards or other people at this time, but for such a matter I need swiftness. I need people who I know I can trust. He makes a motion towards your character, Madrino. I'm still getting all your names down, so I apologize if I call you by your normal name first.
No worries.
Zadim. Motion towards Zadim.
Zadim.
Zadim. My apologies. Zadim.
No problem.
And he gives another nod.
Accidentally clicked that. I'm sorry.
You're fine. He's speaking common. As he again gives a nod. Your people are known for being great trackers. How well do you know the mountain areas?
Zadim chuckles a little bit before replying. Well, seeing as I grew up there, I would say it is most definitely somewhere I am familiar with.
Gives a little chuckle back. Then it is good that I request your assistance, and motions to Naivara, with a motion. And having a druid along the way is certainly no ill as well. What we seek is the last component of this brew that should help restore his health. I believe you've heard of this, Miss Naivara. It's called the Golden Drop Flower.
It sounds familiar, at the very least.
Good. In the mountainous region nearby, as again, we require speed and those who can traverse it without such difficulty, to receive this golden drop flower for us so that we can complete this potion. As part of this, I will be requesting, gives a little look towards you, Ixius, that my aide go with you to advise you in these matters. I understand that you have much to do here, and that I have asked you to be my aide. However, I need eyes. I understand that Miss Naivara, I apologize, how do I pronounce your name? Naivara, my apologies. I'm going to stumble over that word forever. It is a Easterner dialect, is it not?
Yes.
Well, of course. But for you, I understand that you are part of our great nation of Cormundum, but for you, Zadim, we would wish to have one of our own keeping an eye on you. No offense meant. We understand that you come with great faith, but to be able to report back and to let us know what your skills are so that we might be able to solidify our great bond with your people would be preferred.
Basically, you want to send someone to make sure that we don't turn tail and run.
You could say that. I have no doubts that you will face this problem head on. However, knowing what to report back when you have retrieved this flower will be, again, of utmost importance. If you do not wish for him to come along, that is understandable. However, I am commanding him to follow you regardless. Gives a look to Ixius with a very flat, very calm look on his face.
I'll just bow and say, yes, Earl.
One more person to throw in front of the attack, I guess.
He kind of looks over and he's like, I would not throw him in front. With his power at your back, you should be able to get through quite a few. obstacles. He is talented in all that he has done.
I have no qualms with this man accompanying us.
Good. That will make the relaying of this much easier. There will, of course, be reward for that when all this is said and done, but in order to give such things, I would prefer you make haste. In reward for this, each of you will receive 50 gold pieces for the return of this gold drop flower. It is rare, so it will take some time, we understand this. But again, we ask that you make haste. Gives a little motion
We'll
to
try
you all.
and do this as quick as possible.
He bows his head slightly. I appreciate this. I trust each of your talents will not mesh with each other instantaneously, but that you will be willing to work with one another to accomplish this goal. Gives another bow to you all. Motions to Ixius. Will you please escort them out? You know the directions towards it, but from there, lead on as you will.
I'll bow and say, yes, Earl, and then I'll walk out. And I'll say to the others, please follow me.
Zadima followed.
Alright. Turn you down just a little bit. That was a little loud. No worries. There we go. Alright. So as you follow him out, you see before you the Silver Crossroads, which is the name of the city. It's a rather simple place for such a grand name. However, it is known primarily for the mountains to the north, where there are great silver mines and places where many dwarves and humans toil to bring up great works of silver. To the east, you are able to see for miles and miles of trees, rolling lands, and predominantly everything is coming back into that spring feeling. The winter time has long since ended. And to your west, you can see your destination, which is the more rugged, jagged mountains of the spiraling towers, as they are called. Despite not looking actually like towers, they have withstood the tests of times and make for good watch posts for several different areas, as Ixius would know, as well as would Zadim, who has seen similar towers in the past, but none quite as grand as your homeland. Alright, so you guys can take a moment to traverse the city if you wish to grab things before you go, or if you want to just jump straight in, you can. The world is yours.
I would know like every shop, right?
Yes, you would.
Now, I'll tell you this, if you need anything, just let me know before we set off.
I think I should be okay.
You got plenty of food.
I think so, yeah. Pretty set on everything.
Alright.
I mean, it can't hurt to buy more rations.
Speaking of which, as you guys exit out, Ixius, you were not expecting to see such a thing. However, you do see, laying, almost lounging lazily at the head of the stairs with two guards kind of holding posts with a very guarded look on their face, is a very feathered, winged creature that turns its head with sharp, eagle-eyed intensity as it stands slowly. It looks like it is a fledgling griffin that is just very lazily, very casually sitting at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
Like,
Like that's out of character. I didn't expect that.
I'll tell you, I'm like guards. Why do you have not run that off yet?
They had not run it off
Yes,
because it walks with me.
That was. We motioned to Zadim. It came with him, and he told it to stay. And well, as much as it looked like it was going to eat one of the passing cats, it's been quite. What? It looked like it was going to jump at the damn thing, and then it just made this motion to it, and the cat just ran off. Scared the dickens out of me. But it's just.
Maybe it's hungry. Maybe you should feed it.
He kind of pats himself down at me like, I don't have anything that I think that a beast like that would like, miss.
Whoever said I meant that you had something.
I'd prefer not to throw myself to the lions or to the. It's a griffin, right? I'm not mistaken. Kind of motions to
I believe
Zadim.
that's what it is.
Oh yes, yes.
Relax. I'm just messing with you.
Oh. Ah, I apologize. I didn't mean to. Gives a little.
She's better trained than to simply eat whatever passes in front of her.
Right. Um, I'll keep that in mind. Gives a little. He tries to tip his helmet. It's very awkward because it doesn't have a brim. It's just a helmet.
Stop clicking things.
You just keep clicking
Ignore
things
that.
and enjoying yourself. I see that.
I'm not trying to.
No, I've done it myself. No worries. I believe me. I've done that more times than I can count. So yeah, the guard is giving a little a nod with his helmet, which again, kind of awkward, but he's trying his best to be respectful.
So you'll see Ixius hold out his hand right now, and you'll see a winged snake fly down and land on me.
And the guard, as soon as, despite the fact that it is suddenly a winged snake just showing up and just wrapping around his hand, the guard actually looks more relaxed about this. He's like, "Oh yes, hello there, Mr. Noodle. It is a pleasure to see you again." He gives again that little nod of his helmet. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I should. Does it? Oh my goodness. Have you changed his name again?
I have not.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought that I'd misnamed it again. Oh. Yes. This is. You have not. Have you? I apologize. I will step back. You are on duty. Steps back, puts himself back into a guard post, just like I should not. Kind of muttering under his breath, just like face forward. Yeah. It's clear that this Ixius, you've seen changing of the guard. This guy is a little bit more new, and so he's a little bit more open about just talking to people. He's trying to be more relaxed about it, but he's trying his best and not always most understanding of what exactly is going on.
I like him.
So you guys
Well,
have.
shall we continue?
Hmm?
Shall we continue to anything you need?
Guru,
Yes.
out of character.
Yes.
How many rations do I have for my griffin?
How many have you purchased? 'Cause I know you've gotten some rations with your pack, but since you guys are level 2, which to everyone watching, yes, they are level 2 spellcasters and characters and such. So if you're wondering how they're able to do some of the things they do, that's how. But for the equipment, let me see if it has the actual breakdown of rations. Otherwise, I'll just give you 10.
It says 10 days worth of rations
Then yes, I'll
for
read.
myself, but
That
I
does
didn't
not
know
mean
if
for
that.
him.
Yeah, it does not mean for my griffin, as far as I was aware.
Correct. So you would need to get some rations for them.
I will buy some.
Okay. So you guys head into the market to get some, or did you want to get those before you had come?
Can I have purchased them beforehand?
I'll allow it.
Same.
Okay. How much a day would I need?
For your fluffy little friend,
Hmm.
for it per day, I'm going to say that it's going to eat at least, currently because it is only a medium-sized griffin, I'm going to say double what you would eat. So it would need 2 rations a day.
I will
Only.
buy 20 rations.
Okay. So that's 10 gold. 5 silver a piece for each ration.
Okay.
Let's just mark that off.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
You're fine. Alright, so you guys are heading in to the western area? Or are you going to do some shopping first?
I don't need anything.
I don't know anything.
Need anything else, Matt?
I should be okay besides that.
Fantastic. Alright, and just so you're aware, for right now, your griffin is completely under my control. You will get control of it next level.
Okay.
That's because right now it's not fully bonded with you, as we've
Yes,
discussed.
Mhm.
There are certain things I need to change, but that's not going to work out for right now.
No worries, understandable.
I think that I will actually only buy 6 days worth of rations.
Okay, so you're getting 12 instead?
Yeah.
Okay. So for that, that's 6 days worth of rations. For the creature, correct? For the griffin?
No, 6. So 3 days for them. So 6.
Oh, so you're only getting 3 days of rations, so you're getting
And
6
then I'll
days.
just hunt for
Okay.
them out in the woods if I have to.
Okay, so if you're only getting 3, that would only be 3 gold instead.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you've got your rations, you've got yourselves all packed up, you got your focuses, everything that you need. All right, and you start heading towards the west, towards the towering mountaintops. As you guys head in, who is leading?
I think I would be, because I know the way.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay. So as you're leading, I need you to make me a survival check.
Oh god.
Let's see.
That's a
Oh,
21.
not bad.
Yep. So you know this area pretty well. You haven't been quite outside of the Silver Crossroads, but at the same time, you're familiar with the forest. You ran around, grew up in such areas, and you're kind of keeping your head up, looking around. So it gives you a better chance of looking around and going, okay, I know this path, I know this area. I'm pretty sure it's off this way. And you start leading the group along. As you get towards more of the mountainous area, it probably takes about, say, 3 hours to get towards that area. It starts getting a little bit more difficult terrain, which with Zadim's help, you are able to traverse that without any difficult terrain slowing you down. Keeping
Yeah,
it
when
nice
we get to the
and nice.
mountains, I'll let him take the lead.
Okay. Letting him take the lead, he's able to keep everyone's feet assured to make sure that, following him, that you can keep an eye out for everything moving at, again, that normal pace. Moving about through the areas, you, let's say, take another couple of hours before sundown begins to come upon you guys. Looking around, you guys would find a couple different areas for you guys to make up camp. There's a forest clearing that's just kind of off the way. Up in the more mountainous areas, you could just perch on one of the ledges and make it there. Wouldn't have a very immediate source of firewood, but it's an option. And there's another glade that if you keep going towards probably about when the sun would be setting, there is an area that looks like it has a little pond next to it as well. Or would you guys like to set up camp?
You guys want to keep going or stay here? If we go a little further, there is a pond where we can refill our water skins.
I'm going to go to the pond.
The pond sounds like a good option, yes.
Okay. So you guys continue forward. Sun begins to set. It's probably just cresting where it would be turning into night. As you guys approach the water's edge, taking some materials to quickly set up a quick fire. As the sun finishes going down, the 2 moons rise in the sky, looking as they always do, as though 2 eyes are watching the landscape pass by. As you guys get a roaring fire crackling amid you guys can sit down, take some time. If you guys want to discuss anything about plans of getting up there or anything you guys need to do beforehand, you can. If you guys want to just roll into night watches, we can do that there.
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so everyone's heading to sleep except for our first watch.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll take second watch.
Gotcha.
And I guess I'll take third.
Alright. Alright. So I would like a perception check from Naivara.
Alright. Hold up, this itty bitty window is killing me.
You can also pop it out with the little thing on the top left.
I know, but sometimes it's just.
I get you.
I rolled an 11.
Alright, so with an 11, you're relaxing. You're just kind of leaning back, letting the fire light it up the area around you. Throw on a couple of extra pieces of wood to keep the fire going.
It's so nice and calm and quiet. For some reason, that makes me tense.
It's nice, calm, and quiet. Hold on, that reminds me. Did I get my campfire music? I did not get that turned on. That is my apologies. I will.
Don't play campfire song.
As we sit around the campfire. No, I'm not putting on that kind of campfire
Singing from the
songs.
fire, yes, a witchy song.
I started a circle with the thing I didn't want.
Don't worry, we're being good-ish.
You choked on it. Lies.
Alright, I'll find it later, but it's got the sounds of a wood coming back into spring. It's not necessarily the most not quite loud, due to the fact that it is still creatures waking up from their winter slumber. But it's nice, it's calming. Gives you a sense of relaxation. After the time kind of moves along, you look around, you realize that by the eyes you've probably ended your watch, and you can tap your snake-like friend and pass on the watch to him.
He's gonna poke him right between the eyes. Hey, wake up. I want to sleep.
I'll swat her hand. Like, you can just shake me.
Shaking seems more rude.
And I'm actually going to have Mr. Noodles fly up, and I'm going to look through his eyes on my watch.
Okay.
Oh, that his name is Mr. Noodles.
Okay, so for your perception check, because you're not using your own eyes, I would like for you to use Mr. Noodle's perception check for this. Okay. He kind of flutters about, kind of dashing from branch to branch, giving you a chance to just kind of sit back, eyes having that very faint mystical glow to them. Looking through his eyes is always an experience to just feel the wind under its wings as it jumps from branch to branch, looking around, keeping an eye on things. And more in the shadows, you see a few different creatures moving about. Predominantly, it looks like things like deer, such like that. Little creatures. You see a squirrel jumping from branch to branch, coming out of its hidey hole. One of them actually sees the snake kind of dashing about, freezes, stares at it, darts back down the tree, running back into its hole, and then after a moment pops his head out, just like, "Are you still there?" But other than that, the place seems quiet, peaceful almost even. And looking at the eyes, by the eyes, you see that it is probably about the time for your watch to end.
Alright, I'll return my sight to myself, and then I'll... how you say your name again?
Zadim.
Vadine? I'll wake up Vadine. Zadine, okay.
As you wake him up. Alright, and it is now Zadim's watch. Roll me a perception check. That was a DM roll for some reason. Luckily the stream can all see that, so we all know that you did roll an 18. So you sit back, kind of relaxing. It's nothing like the mountain cold or anything like that, but it's nice. Looking around, it's fairly peaceful, fairly quiet. One thing that does catch your attention as you watch them rest is that there occasionally seems to be a bit of movement off in the shadows that eventually slowly kind of makes its way forward. You see a face kind of give a little spiteful look at the fire, but you guys have all used firewood from the ground as you've been taught and trained to do. As you see a dryad kind of peek their head into the campsite and kind of just give you this long look of just watching you, observing you.
I will raise my hand in greeting, but not say anything.
You raise your hand. It gives you like this curious little look as it's looking at your hand, and then slowly it raises its own hand, gives a little wave, and it kind of slowly slinks back into the shadows as it kind of gives you that long look. before vanishing into the shadows. And by the eyes, you see it cresting towards the peaks of the far-off mountains. You can feel the slow burn of the sun rising in the distance as morning begins to come upon you. Right, and you guys can now wake up and continue back on your track.
Sounds good.
Alright, so I believe that you said that you would have Zadim be the one up in front.
Yeah, when we're in the mountainous region, he's leading, but I'm like directing him
Of course.
from behind.
Alright, in which case, after you guys all wake up, put out the campfire and get everything ready, Zadim, I would like you to make a survival check with advantage.
Oh yeah.
I heard that.
Oh yeah.
She's very happy.
Of course. Alright, so you, a little less than Ixius, but with his help you're able to pull the group around, keeping them kind of tight on the sides of the mountain area, looking through, keeping more towards the lower sides of it currently. This isn't where the gold drop flowers tend to bloom. Most of them are higher up.
I want to have Mr. Noodles fly up about 50 feet.
Mhm.
And I want him to communicate to me like if he sees any threats.
Okay. Roll him
I'm
a perception
not gonna
check.
not smile at that name. I'm sorry.
Huh? You can't
I
take it
should've-
seriously.
I can't.
Mr. Noodle. It's a
What
good
is
name.
these Snack eyes.
No, what was you saying, Guru?
I need a perception check from Mr. Noodle. Yeah, he's just kind of flapping along, just kind of, it's more coasting and guiding, flying around. It's not really saying too much. Trail seems pretty peaceful. You do notice that as it's flying about 50 feet up, it is having to kind of flutter about and fly through a lot of different tree areas whenever it tries to fly too close to the edge of the forest. There are very large trees around here. Most of them are about
Yeah. I'll bring him back to him.
yeah. Most of the trees can be anywhere from 100 to 200 feet tall.
Yeah, I thought we were like in the mountain area.
You are in the mountain area, but whenever he like flies over towards that side of it, because it's only 50 feet up in the air,
Yeah.
it does eventually have to kind of jump through some of the different areas, and you see him kind of having a little bit of a good time, just kind of darting between spaces. As you guys continue along, you do know that gold drop flowers tend to be up higher up on the mountains. The one closest to you, the last you heard, has not had any blooming quite some time, but the second mountain over, which probably is only maybe 1-2 more days travel, likely has a few that are still up there based off the last results as the hawk flies, which is how some of the people were able to verify that there was one up there.
And they said it is at the top.
Yes. Not all the way at the peak. The peak has too much frost on it right now to hold much to it, but there are some caverns that should still be maintaining enough warmth to allow it to grow.
Well, I believe here is where we climb. We should be finding some caverns about halfway up.
Should we stop at the first one we find, or should we just keep going?
Would I know that they're all connected?
They're not. You would know that there are a variety of different caverns that kind of intersperse through the entirety of the mountain. Some of them towards the bottom actually lead into areas that you've not heard any reports regarding, so you don't know too much about what's down there. Towards the higher ones, there are some that are connected, but towards the top, they're more pocket areas where they'll have different variations to them.
And was the report like in the middle or at the top? top-ish.
towards the middle top. It would still take some time to get towards the top if you were going to like some of the more plentiful areas of them. But there are some that are found more towards the middle.
We could try to find rarer ones in the middle, or go a little higher towards the top, and there's a better chance of finding them.
I'll just follow you. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going.
Guru, would I have any
Obviously.
inkling as to where they might be?
Roll a nature check.
Okay.
Just a straight check. Okay. Gold-drop flowers are not indigenous to the area you're from. Not in a great amount. There are a few that have been brought over towards them because they figured that they'd be well growing there. They prefer more cold areas towards the top, but with just how cold your homeland tends to run, they weren't able to thrive. So higher up would mean that it is colder there, and it is more likely that they would be found there.
So going up further would get us
A better
closer to where
chance.
they would be. Okay.
Time to climb.
All right, well, you guys aren't at the second mountain yet. You still have to make your way to it. Speaking of which, as you guys move about, what is everyone's passive perception?
15.
Mine is 14.
Mad, what is yours?
14.
Okay. Okay, that is a plus. Okay. Alright, so as you guys continue through the forested area, peeking about, you off in the distance you hear a kind of a skittering noise, the crunches of something being ripped into. You can't quite see it due just to how dense the forest is, but you get a sense that whatever it is, it doesn't sound like whatever it's doing is friendly, or the way that it's moving, that it's probably dangerous in some sense.
Can I tell the direction and distance?
You would have to make an active perception check for that. Based off just passive perception, you'd guess that it's definitely in front of you. Distance-wise, probably at least a good 200 to 300 feet out. It's pretty close.
The way you described it makes it sound like something's being eaten, which is horrifying.
Shall I scout out and see what it might be? Is it in the direction where we're going, or is it just off
It's
to
in
the
the
side?
it's in the direction towards where you're heading, not directly where, but you likely would pass by it.
I should probably take a look to see what this is.
If we just
You wanna
get
scout?
within
Go for it.
100 feet of it, I can send Mr. Noodles and I can look through his eyes.
If you wish.
Yeah, I'll move about 100 feet up and then send Mr. Noodles to scout it out.
Okay. So
And I
you-
want to look at his eyes.
So you have Mr. Noodles flying through the air, slither around. There's a stream nearby as well, so if you want to have him go by water, he can do that as well.
Yep,
By
I'll
water.
do that.
Okay. So Mr. Noodles flies over and kind of just hovers for a bit before kind of just diving and dunking himself in the water, just slithering through, doing his snake thing. As it moves up, it bobs its head up on over the water to just kind of peek around, goes under, gets a little noodly shake as it swims through the water. It's kind of fighting the current a little bit, but it's not too far. It's a little cold for him though, which you kind of feel a little shiver get
Yeah.
kind of transmitted back.
I'll
to
just let him. I'll let him hover over the water then.
He pops out, kind of gives himself, he wraps around a rock, gives himself a little shake as he dusts off the feathers. But at this distance, it would be able to see this as a large creature, chitinous in form, is digging into what appears to be a deer. There's a soft hissing noise that it's able to hear as its jaws bite down and kind of just turn and twist, trying to pull at the meat as it kind of just makes this little
Would I know what this is?
Oh, that noise
nature
is...
check. you've heard of these creatures. You've never seen any of them personally, but then again, Onkeg are a very notorious pest in these woods. They're a monstrous entity. As you can quite clearly see, they have that chitinous form to them. One very dangerous thing about them is that they can burrow. Not very fast, but the fact that they can do that means that they can catch people by surprise, as well as the fact that their bite has a burning element to it that can be dangerous for the unaware.
Would I know that they usually travel in like packs or whatever they're called?
More solitary hunters. Having a pack would mean they'd have to share food.
I'll relay what I see.
You just kind of see Vara just shudder.
No, I can't see you.
Oh damn!
He's just
I'm blind right now.
Yeah, he's looking through the
He's
snake eyes.
alright. He's in front of. I figured that he would be different. I figured that he would be nearby.
No, he's nearby. He's in front of you. He just can't see you.
Alright, I'm sorry. Forgive me. The cackle. I don't know. Maybe Mr. Noodles' name is still kind of fucking my brain here.
Don't do that.
What?
Zadim will
know
walk over and tap him on the shoulder to try and bring him out of whatever trance he's in.
He can still speak
Yeah,
to you.
I'll come back.
Can't he hear us?
Yes.
No, I
No,
can't
he
hear.
can't. No, he can't. No.
So,
Right. That's how Find Familiar works.
Yeah, I can't hear him. I can only feel.
once he's out of the trance, Zadim will say, I personally do not look forward to dealing with these. We would be best suited sneaking by it.
Or we could just kill it so it doesn't follow us.
Well, it's already eating something, so it won't follow us if it doesn't see us.
I'll do it your way. I'm just here for assistance.
Right. After a couple moments, you hear kind of a screeching noise, and you see Mr. Noodle just kind of zip around and fly away as it looks like it had noticed that Mr. Noodles had landed on a rock nearby. But,
Yeah, I'll
he took
dismiss
off.
him immediately.
Yeah, he
and then
he
bring him back
vanishes.
too.
Yeah, he vanishes. You bring him back, and you see it kind of shivering, just like as it wraps around your neck, and then just kind of slips underneath the hood of it, just kind of like wraps around you for the warmth of you.
No, poor little baby.
So I suggest we just go around. We stay away from the river because I think that's where it hunts.
Again, I'm just following you guys.
All right. So you guys are going to be trying to do this, just kind of walking away from it, or stealthily.
Try to
Stealthily go
stealth.
around.
All right. Roll me stealth checks then.
Hey Don, for once my stealth is not high.
Do I have advantage because this is my favorite terrain?
Let me check real quick.
Could have Mr. Noodles gave me the help action.
You didn't say it before you rolled.
I
so
know,
no.
I forgot.
You're like, wait, I can do that. Yeah, you forgot though.
Alright.
That's okay. So difficult terrain, your group can't, even when you are engaged, you're traveling alone. Forage, there's nothing about advantage, so I'm going to say no. We'll say that if you were trying to move like slowly, I would give you advantage, but you guys are just trying to take a normal pace and do that, so I'd say you're probably still going at the same pace for that. If you're trying to go at a fast pace, I would say it would have been with disadvantage. Which,
Alright.
let's see here. So you two are running over and just kind of.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I could let him have the help action.
I mean, at
Yeah.
this point, it noticed us, so.
It noticed you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you all were noticed by it. Its perception was high enough, and you hear this as you see it kind of skittering over. Kind
I
of
told
try
you
to
we should've
peek
just
around.
killed
I'm
it.
actually gonna move you guys over here, so you guys can see what's going on. All right, and you guys are over here. Why is my screen always so zoomed in whenever I drop you guys here? So you guys are over here.
All right.
And the creature is
Creature.
over here.
Ugh.
Ooh, he big.
Yes, he is a large creature. He is not a small boy.
Ugly.
Yeah, he's got mandibles that curve out. You can quite clearly see the chitinous form as it has two razor, almost mantis-like claws as it kind of crawls forward, moving some of the wood out of its way as it looks towards you. The mandible is just kind of clacking together in that clicking motion as it quite clearly is staring right at you guys now.
This looks like a fucking monster from The Witcher, and I do not condone this. I don't like that.
Oh, yeah, it knows
No!
exactly where you guys are. Yep. But before it can do that, because you guys did have perception checks and knew it was coming, instead of saying it gets a surprise round or anything like that, I'm going to say, everybody, roll initiative.
I got a feat for that, by the way, in case you forgot.
I remember.
Oh, crap. Why do I always forget to do that? Oh, well, this turn order? Wow.
Turn
Turn
order.
order's not up, so fuck.
Oh, you forgot the turn order?
Nah, it's obtrusive. I'm going to see how it feels without it for a little bit.
Okay.
Eventually, I'll roll good on these things.
Eventually.
Right.
Look at my modifier.
I don't. Do I want to?
It's
Yes.
a +7.
So you...
Remember what I said earlier? You'll be the one to throw it to the attack. Fucking like I was
so-
right.
Ixius, you
Yeah.
are the first up. Wait, hold on. Where are you?
I'm over here.
He's by me.
You see me moving?
I see you moving, but I'm missing someone on there.
Vidrino.
Mad.
Or is it D?
No, I'm right there.
Where
Where?
are
Oh,
you?
see you.
I'm
I
right
don't
there.
see you.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, you're being. Then I am missing.
Yeah, that's
Hmm?
you then.
Oh yeah, I need to upload those pictures.
Yeah, we need to get your pictures done so we can actually have you have tokens that can make me and not have to put dots on them. Need help, Paris?
Please. I have noted.
You,
Oh, wait.
You click on your name, you drag and drop, and I'll put a little dot on you so we know which one of you is
Yeah.
which. There you go. Okay. So
With
you-
with my nature check earlier, would I know like any kind of weakness?
Specific weakness, it's got a soft underbelly, which if you can knock it over, it's a lot easier to hit.
But like, is it like resistant to fire or vulnerable?
From the nature check you rolled, no
Yeah.
specific weakness.
Okay. In that case, we'll have Mr. Noodles give me the help action. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, you need to roll
Hold
for Mr. Noodles. He can
Yep.
only give a help action on his turn.
What's he gonna do? Bite its eye?
That's the wrong one.
Oof.
Delete.
Yeah, I need to finish up your thing too. Yep.
me
So
click right
roll
here.
roll his initiative, so I can make sure that's marked down too.
Uh,
'Cause Mr. Noodles gets.
oh,
his
that's not initiative. That's intelligence.
That's his intelligence. Just click on
I
the where it
don't-
says initiative.
Okay, I see.
Up. He.
I clicked it.
Wow.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you only clicked it. The first one we'll take is the 23. So that he does beat you on initiative, so he would be able to go first on that. You're like, you're like, oh no, I'm ready for this. Nah, Mr. Noodles was more ready for this than you. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he's
Place
gonna
it
give me
out
the
in
help
the
action,
Okay.
and
Imagine
that gives me
listening
an
to
advantage
Yep.
on my fire bolt.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
That hits.
For 1 damage.
So you whip out your hand. You're ready to go, and you do damage.
You lit its antenna on fire. It's pissed.
And then I'm gonna move like behind this tree.
I thought he was
along
gonna say
both
he
of
was,
us.
I thought he was gonna hide behind fucking Zadim. I'm like, this is mean.
Okay. Well, so you kind of run back. You're like, oh no. As the creature's turn. as it's going to begin moving. It can only move up to here. So it's going to move 30 feet.
No!
Yep, and it has a range of, I believe you can hit both of you actually.
Oh, this son of a gun.
Yeah, you and Mr. Noodles. As I need you and Zadim and Mr. Noodles to make a dexterity saving throw. As it kind of makes this hawking noise as it's
Sure.
Ew.
He's
back.
gonna roll better than I do. I guarantee you.
Nope.
Oh yeah, he didn't.
So yeah, ignore the attack roll. It's a dex
Nope,
save.
dragon did.
As you both take 13 points of acid damage.
Yeah, he done.
Yeah, Mr. Noodle just
13?
pops out of existence.
13 points of acid damage, huh?
Yep.
Wait, wouldn't Mr. Noodles be on me though?
Oh yeah, he would be on you, so he would not be hit by that. Yeah, his token is just to show that he is
Lovely.
near you.
Here we go.
What?
I'm out.
You're unconscious?
I'm unconscious.
Oh my god!
So
What?
you are unconscious, so your turn.
Already?
Yep, your turn is not until end anyway. So Naivara, you see this thing just kind of scutter up and just go. Wait, you rolled it for 2 levels, right? Not 1?
Yeah, let me double check that.
Because you're supposed
It
to be
seems
level
a
2,
little low.
not level 1.
I might not have rolled for my second
Oh,
level,
oh,
which would be great at this point, but let me double check.
It
that.
would.
Friend, buddy,
It's been a while since I had to roll a new character.
no worries.
I thought you were only supposed to roll once. Like after you get your initial HP if you're
Your-
level 2. Are you supposed to roll
your
twice?
initial HP is supposed to be max for level 1, and then you roll for level 2 HP.
Okay, so you do
I'll
only roll one
to
dice.
you if it
Yes.
does turn out that it was not the correct number. But
Roll your HP so we can make sure how much you're actually living by.
okay, one sec.
I'm sorry. Mhm.
That moment when it spits on you and you're like, oh no, I'm down. And then you're just like, no wait,
Ooh, hey, what do you
I'm
got?
alive.
Well, like the worst part is I'm just gonna DM that to you, Tyler.
send that to me, yeah. Which, speaking of which, it's actually your
Okay, go
turn.
ahead.
Paris.
Um,
DM it to me real quick.
So is he down or not?
No, I'm good now.
Okay.
Did you
Mm,
roll?
pretty good. Yeah.
Yes!
I rolled.
Oh yeah, you did roll. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. So yeah, Paris, it's your turn. You.
I tried to pick what I want to do. I don't want to be close to this thing. You know what? I'm gonna use that cantrip that you gave me.
All right. We're gonna get some fun testing this out. All right.
Oh boy.
So you hawk up some electricity as it forms into a thunderbolt. You throw it at it, and it kind of just twing, bounces off its armor.
Bitch!
Oh, no.
Zeus failed me.
That's...
Why did you throw this giant creature at me? I hate bugs. Can I use the rest of my action to move, or do I have to
You have a
move
move
before the
action.
action?
No, you can make an attack action and then move.
Stay away from me!
All right. Zadim, you just got spit on, and it kind of hurt.
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh, that's a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna move. Wow, there's nothing that I can climb anywhere right here, is there?
In front of you is a
Okay.
little bit
Climb
like
a
a
monster.
broken tree, like right here. But it's not like super
Yes.
cover or anything like that. It'll just kind of spit right over it because of how large it is.
Yeah. Doesn't
That would
seem
just
like-
put you in a little thing where it could just retch acid on top of you. Let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna break out my one of my long swords and my shield. I'm gonna hopefully get close enough so that it doesn't think spitting acid is a good idea.
Right.
It is probably a terrible idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Always the best.
And I'm gonna take a swing at it.
All right. So you run up over to it, take a swing.
Hmm?
Why are you still DM rolling?
Whoops. Got to switch it
Oh,
off.
yeah, switch it off, then roll again, just
Are
so
you
that they can
sure?
see what you rolled. Yeah,
Okay.
I've been waiting for you to turn that off. Like you're still rolling it just to me.
Well, I did the first
You
time.
only want to.
'cause
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I mean,
It's no
that's
better.
what I get. Yeah.
So you swing it clang, right off its armor as it kind of turns. She kind of rears back and makes that clicking
This is
noise at you.
monster at a time, bitch. You bounce.
Yeah, it is. It's not that it's unhappy with you. It's that you're essentially food.
Great.
Mr. Noodles. It is Mr. Noodles' turn.
And Mr. Noodle's dead?
No, he's alive.
No.
He was
Not
on.
dead.
I said that it was on him, so it was not in range to get hit by it.
Oh, okay.
It's just got a token for if he needs to send it anywhere else.
He's gonna give me the help action again.
Okay. So he's staying on
And yep, just gonna stay on me.
you. Okay.
Please, no more
And
ones.
on my turn, I'm gonna use a bonus action to give healing word
Okay.
to our range.
Gotcha. So roll that for giving him back the H of Peace.
H of peace.
Nice.
That's a 2, by the way.
Yeah, I'm aware. So you reach out your hand and you give back 8 HP to Zadim.
Thank you.
Right, you still have an
needs it.
action.
And for my main action, I'm going to cast Bless, and we'll bless all 3 of us.
You cannot cast 2 spells in the same turn.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
No
Well,
worries.
in that case, he's getting magic, or not magic missile, firebolted.
Yep, you can do that though. Fire
With
away
advantage.
with advantage.
For 14.
14 does hit. You lash out with fire and it slams right into its face.
going up, boys.
That's right. You're a little bit
And-
rusty. You haven't been out in the field casting spells very often, so
And we're both going up here.
of course.
I absolutely imagine that he's just like looking at his hand and like flicking off little sparks like,
Like, tink,
ah!
tink.
Like the little sparks dancing over his fingers, like, ah, go sing it. Alright, so Zadim is right in front of it, so it rears back its mouth and it's going to try and bite you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that'll hit. That's
What?
Oh, goody goody.
so it's going to
Was you gonna-
roll.
Fucking
What?
get down.
What did you roll, man?
I got a 19,
Yeah!
so it's going
I
to
was like, I
have.
got some decent armor class, maybe.
Well, that'll hit.
Luckily,
that'll
I
hit.
rolled low on the damage. I got a plus, so that's 6 slashing damage and 3 acid damage. 3.
Is that low?
I got a 1, a 2, and a 3.
I'm sorry, say how much?
6 slashing damage and
Uh-huh.
3 acid damage.
Okay.
And remember, I healed you for 8.
Yep.
I can hear Madrido just like,
That low level
I forgot what
panic.
it was like to be a low level again.
Yeah,
Right.
you're too used to being like, man, I can tank anything.
Uh-huh. And
No.
even then, it's like maybe.
It's like, maybe I'll get stared at by another Yeti thing.
Yeti.
That he lost more than half his health, and he would have been completely knocked unconscious if he didn't have poison resistance at that time.
Damn.
Yeah, it hit him hard. You are still alive though, and it can only attack once. You are considered grappled though.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you are currently grappled by this creature as it bites into you.
Madrino, I know you well.
Oh boy.
It's gonna suck.
Speaking of which, it is now your turn, Paris. Naivara's turn.
Okay. What the fuck am I doing this thing?
You have spells. You
You know
have
what?
cantrips.
Fuck it. I'm gonna use a spell.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
If it'll let me. Ah, no, it won't.
What are you
Oh.
trying to do?
Wait, yes. There we go. That.
Oh, you're gonna cast Shatter behind it. That's a second level spell.
You said that I could have that.
No, I said you can have that second level. You have first level spells right now.
How is that second level? I'm very confused. Okay.
Yes, that is a
No, that-
second level
Okay.
spell. You don't have
Second level spell,
spells yet.
not a second level
I'm
character.
so weird.
Yeah, second level character.
I thought you put us in. I thought you put us
Level
in
2, which gives you first level spells. You get second level spells
Ah,
next
I'm very
turn.
confused. Forgive me.
You're
Okay,
fine.
well then fuck it. I'll do this.
You throw it, and that lightning bolt slams right into it
Wonderful.
for 5 lightning
Not for
damage. Oh, that's 5 lightning damage. Don't sneeze on 5 lightning damage.
It's easy because I'm scared and I'm currently watching one of my party members being lifted in a claw and shaken.
Actually, speaking of which, I'm actually going to roll something here real quick. Yeah, it does hold you. As you both are moved back 5 feet. As the lightning bolt kind of throws it back, it still kind of grips onto you, keeps a... Actually, no, roll me a acrobatics check or athletics check of your choice to see if you're able to escape while it's being knocked back.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
You might be flexible enough. Or strong enough. We'll see.
it's +3 either way. Let's try for acrobatic.
Oh, you're not
Can't
proficient
look.
either. Oh, yeah.
Oh!
So, yep, you see as this bolt of lightning just flies past you, kind of slams into its jaw area as you push at that exact same moment to just kind of let it fall back as it is loosed from the grapple, and you're sitting there kind of like, oh, I'm free.
Oh, okay.
So you have been freed from the grapple.
Thank you.
Big grapple. Jesus Christ.
So it's your turn now. What would you like to do?
Run!
Yeah, I'm gonna. How far is its reach? Let's ask that first.
Its
Like from what
reach,
I've seen.
you don't know. You know that it was right up in front of you when it hit you.
Okay. Gonna try and back up.
Okay. So you're backing up, hoping it doesn't hit. As you do, it kind of makes motion as though it's going to try and hit you, but you are outside of its reach.
Wicked. Okay, so sheathing my sword, shrugging my shield back onto my shoulder, breaking out my longbow.
All right.
Gonna take a hunter's mark as my bonus action,
I will mark it.
and I'm gonna take a shot.
Where is my hunter's mark symbolism? Character sheet, go away. There we go. Hunter's mark. So he's got the little hunter's mark on him, and shoot her!
That's
Yes.
enough.
It cracks right across its shell. You're used to hunting things that aren't quite this armored. This is new to you. So
Alright.
you take the shot, you're just like, what the? Gosh dang it! It is now our snick friend, Mr. Noodle's turn. Speaking of which, I should scroll up a little bit so we can see that, yes, Mr. Noodles is still on the map. He is still alive. Do not worry, people. Friends of Mr. Noodles, he is still alive.
Let's see. He's gonna give me the help action again,
Good boy.
and on my turn, I'm gonna cast Firebolt again.
I hate to be like the wet blanket and remind the DM of something, but does the thing go
Oh.
right after Madrino?
Nope. It goes right after Ixius, which with the 17
Okay.
it does hit. Yeah, you're like, I don't want to be, that guy, but please
Right.
please don't forget that,
Damage.
nice. Yeah, I've got the turn order. I've got this prepared. So you
Yeah.
slam into it. So you're running around behind it.
Yep, we're going over here.
So you're basically you're strafing it essentially.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of strafing, so that ends your turn.
Yes.
Let's see here. No, he does
What do you
not get
mean
it back.
sneaking? Okay.
Okay, so he's got 2 targets. So let me see. Odd top, even bottom. Even bottom it is. Sorry, Matt. I rolled even. It's gonna move up on you. It's gonna try and
Good,
it's
good.
gonna try and nibble
It
you.
likes you.
Let me roll severity.
Oh, great.
Okay. You watch as it kind of runs, and you see right here. I'm going to ping this on here so that they can see. You see right there? That's a rock.
Thank you. Yeah.
As you see it stumble and topple face first into the mud and fall onto its back. It rolled a natural 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that's wonderful.
As its
I need
legs are
that.
just flailing in the air. Hitting it with a ranged attack is probably going to be a disadvantage, but if you are right up next to it, it is considered prone. Which, speaking of which, Paris, it is now your turn.
I need a ruler real quick to figure out. Awesome, I can't move up to it. While I'm doing this, I have no idea, but sure, fine.
You saw what happened to me. I don't know why you're doing it.
I've been taking.
She's making
Bobby
terrible
bitch.
decisions. Let her do it.
Far be it for me to stop her.
I'm going to hit it with that little spear we discussed. Because I think I did this right. I think.
Okay. That will hit. Well, that's with advantage. So roll again to see if you get a nat 20.
Oh.
Okay, so, yeah, no. 20 hits. So click the damage button as you stibbity stab this creature while it's on its butt for 4 damage. Not bad. Alright, and Elonin, it is now your turn.
Wow, that was fast.
You have small
Okay.
party, one creature.
I will shoulder my longbow, unsheath, and shrug down my shield, and I'll move up and try and stab it again.
Stibbity stab him.
Stab the stomach.
No.
With advantage because he's prone.
Oh, good. Oh, there
That
we
does
go.
hit.
There we go.
Not bad.
How would you like to do this?
Oh, thank God.
Oh man, at this point, Zidim just walks up to it, and he's not having any of this.
It's
This is
flailing.
supposed to be a friendly jaunt in the forest, and this is absolutely not what it turned out to be. So he just kind of walks up, looks down at it,
It
locks
clicks up
the
at
head
you.
right off.
Yep, it looks up at you like with this clicking noise, just trying to be defiant as you just go whoosh, and it's like the scene from Alien vs. Predator where the Predator just slashes through it, and instead of the moment that pause, just that frozen in animation, then just
Oh my God.
as the body just kind of falls, just. And
No one
are
took
now at
damage
combat.
except for Burrito.
yeah, that happens sometimes. And honestly, if it had rolled odd, it would have gone for you. So yeah, you would have been the one getting bitten. But it rolled in that one either way, so it was going to end up in the middle of the river. So you guys have slain the fell beast.
Can I take a part of it?
Can y'all do me a favor and change y'all's names on y'all's rolling so I can learn y'all's names?
Oh, okay.
Please and thank you. Yeah, just so I can. Just so I can remember who's who. Why does it keep doing this?
I just now did it.
I think I need to refresh my thing so I can see it on there.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, apparently I didn't have to because I just saw her name change. Bear with us, folks. We're just refreshing everything.
You probably want to change yours too.
I'm doing it. I'm just trying to remember how to do it.
It's understanding.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then I also got, when I roll, it shows my name instead of like.
Should I call this myself?
Why not?
You should call yourself our uncommon DM.
Ah. There we go. Alright, so you wanted to take some bits of this creature?
Yes.
Okay.
While they're
Okay.
doing that, I'm gonna have Mr. Noodles fly up to Zadim,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds to him.
Okay. So as you are you assisting Naivara with her procuring of pieces of this creature?
Monster Hunter.
Why would I do that?
Not you,
Oh,
Zadim. Because Zadim is still right next to it. He hasn't moved.
he doesn't want to move. He's
No, I'm
tired.
going over and I'm gonna take some from this.
Okay.
It's a big nice trophy.
You're just like, I just want a piece of it. Just, So, whichever of you wishes to roll it, it would be survival with advantage. If you want to both roll for different parts of it, you'd be rolling for, obviously, whichever part you want to claim. And
How's your survival?
I'll give
I'm
the
rolling
help
with
action
Princess.
to one of them, so
so
I'll
as
give it
this,
to Zadim.
okay. So as this is going on, Ixius motions and the flying snake, Mr. Noodles, just flies over, wraps around your shoulders, and you get back 8 health points.
Excellent.
Alright, so you're going for which part, Paris?
The fencer.
Okay.
Like part of its fencer.
Okay. And what part were you wanting to go for, Zadim?
What's available?
It's got two very wicked-looking curved claws that, again, very mantis-like. It does have a pair of mandibles with its big-ass alien head. Its throat kind of has this lump area to it, probably where it was spitting acid at you guys before.
Ooh, that's
Ooh, I'll
about to
take
take
that.
Okay, roll me a survival check.
Okay.
That one. It explodes. You
He's
took
getting
5
help
damage.
back. He's getting help back.
He is getting help action, so roll with advantage because the Mr. Noodles is on your shoulders. He's kind of looking over your
Cool.
shoulder, basically giving you little nudges every now and then.
I'll take that. I mean,
All right.
pretty good, but I'll take the 21.
Okay. So, Naivara, with the pincers, you've not really done this very much. So, the way that you essentially do is you're like, okay, what do I use? And instead of pulling out a knife or anything like that, you kind of just put your boot against it and push down. It cracks off a chunk of its face. However, it does keep the mandible intact. It is not
I'll take it.
pretty. It is not, delicate, but you were able to somehow keep it mostly intact without breaking anything. So you now have the mandible of an Unkeg, which I will type out for you guys in chat. Unkeg. Spell right. There we go. And
So
with
bring
a
it up later. It's fine.
yeah, and with the 21, you are far more delicate for something that spits acid. Getting acid on your hands doesn't sound like a good time. So you draw out your knife. You're very careful. Every now and then you feel just kind of like the gentle brush of the Mr. Noodles against your neck, just kind of like keeping you calm, keeping you focused. And eventually you slip your hands in. It's not very clean, but you do have the river next to you. You kind of just wash your hands real quick to make sure you can see it clearly. But you managed to get the acid spray of this creature. Not sure what you're going to do with it, but you certainly have an acid spray gland.
I just see like Mr. Noodles patting his head with his wing.
Yes. Just there. You're doing great, friend. This is an absolutely magnificent surgery you're doing.
Blech.
Yes, on a creature that is gross and terrible, but you're doing it, and you actually were able to get the acid spray gland.
Mm-hmm.
Da 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 da. Oh my god.
Same wavelength. Good. So you guys, you get your pieces. Ixius is kind of watching you guys, just like, what the hell are you guys? I don't,
That's disgusting.
Materials.
You never know when such a thing might come and happen.
Okay, Vlad.
I'll
You
look
better
at him.
get ready for
like,
all of this, because I'm redoing this a whole dang campaign.
I'll look at him and
Yeah.
I say, wouldn't it be more useful to take the armored parts of it?
Yes, but that will take longer, and apparently this mission we are on is of the utmost importance.
I don't
So
want
speed is the name of the game.
I don't want armor. I wanted sharp parts.
if you guys want to come back for it later, if you do a survival check to see about covering it up to prevent it from being dragged off and eaten, the armored parts would not be necessarily taken by anything that would want it. It's essentially the carapace. So if you did want to leave that for later to get the rest of it when you come back, you guys can do that.
I don't want it.
Yeah, obviously if you don't want it, you don't have to, but if you want to come back for it, you can.
Do I have to roll survival to try and...
If you want to hide it from being eaten up while you guys are
Yeah.
gone,
Wait, hold on. Paris, is your survival? How good is your survival? Because
you
I'll give you the
can
help.
see it
it's
right
better than
there.
mine.
I have a 5.
Yeah, I'll give you the help action.
Okay, so Paris rolls
Okay.
survival with advantage. As you see,
Hold on.
flies back over to Ixius. Okay, you managed to kind of lodge it up. It's not necessarily clean, especially since the head's kind of been completely lopped
Pieces?
off. But for the body, it's a little bit easier, especially since he cut out pieces of it for you. Kind of just essentially let the cold water essentially chill it as you kind of shove it up against the side of the river to keep it from floating away. You're not necessarily sure if anything will find it, but at the very least, it'll be intact when you get back.
I don't even want to imagine what might eat this, considering it was much bigger than us to begin with. No.
which actually, speaking of which, with the 17, as you are pushing it up and you're again getting it kind of covered up, you do notice that there are a few little kind of tunnel areas where it's kind of just looks like it was kind of digging around near there. They collapsed, so it's kind of obvious where it's been. I'm not sure what all could be in those, but they are there.
Can I try and dig a few of them?
I'll say you can take a few moments, just kind of poke around. Roll me another survival
What is it
check.
rolling? With
Actually, no,
advantage or just
investigation check. This is investigation.
Okay.
Only with advantage if someone's helping you.
I'll roll it.
Okay. So you want to
Wait,
investigate
what's
too?
your investigation?
Yeah, I'll investigate.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so we just both roll.
you can.
Yeah, you can just help me if you want.
Okay. I'm assuming that he's got the higher investigation. Probably got like a 10. Oh,
No, not that high.
With the 15, as you kind of dig around with Naivara helping you out, you actually managed to find that this creature, as you are very much aware, it's been exactly the kind of pest you were expecting. Reaching down through it, you actually find that there's a few remains, probably of people who are just passing through, kind of farmers and such like that. You find
Ugh.
it's not rusted yet, thankfully, more fresh, but you do find a dagger. You find a pouch. Looks like it has about 13 silver in it and 2 gold pieces.
I will take that pouch.
And you find a it's definitely not a good looking corpse of a cow, but you do find a cowbell on it. Yeah.
How rotten does it look?
What?
Based off of its decomposition, let's say probably about a week or so. Most of it looks like the decomposition has actually been eaten away by the acid.
Rest in
So
peace,
it's
Bessie.
like a fairly alright cow carcass?
Fairly alright.
Like, would I gauge whether or not my griffin would be interested in eating this?
You motion for your griffin to kind of saunter on over. It was, again, it's not yet used to combat, so it's kind of just hanging in the background, flapping its wings. Moves over. Kind of scoots over, kind of gives a little cat butt wiggle as it kind of hops over onto it, just whoop, as it digs into it. Looks like it's
There's a
not
little
exactly
outside.
picky.
Damn, but that is disgusting.
Nice. That saves me from having to feed it the other rations.
Navarro is just staring at this like,
Well,
oh.
while it eats, I guess we could just rest here for a little bit.
This is how
Alright,
nature
making those
works.
noises.
As I said, just eating away at the cow.
I want to go to the upriver, whatever way the water's flowing from, and I want to get some build my water skin.
Okay. Yeah, upriver is towards this area. So you would have clean water that you would be able to get and to be able to, fill up without
Can I
having to worry
invest-
about contaminates.
Can I investigate the area for any useful herbs? Or anything?
For which? For what?
Like, any kind of herbs or anything. Something that I could use.
Herbs, I would say survival check.
If you got the kit, you can probably use that.
I don't.
She
I don't.
does not. With a 16 in survival, you're basically just kind of poking around. Through some of the areas you find, you actually do find a bush that has some healing balm materials. The leaf has to be ground up. It takes a while to actually get it to be where you would want it to be, and you would actually need a herbalism kit to actually use the correct materials for that. But you are aware that these, when ground up into a paste, can be used with a couple other materials to create a balm, which essentially would do 1d4 plus your wisdom modifier and healing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I can make I can find someone to make me a healing bomb.
Yes.
I'm Anna!
You're Anna, oh no. Just throw healing bomb on people. Splat. Get in there. You're powered up. But yes, you have a healing bomb that you can eventually begin crafting, but right now you only have one piece of it, and you don't know the necessary ingredients besides what you've currently found, but you know that these are the main ingredient. So just call them
Oh.
bomb leaves, and I'd say with a 16, I'll say you can get about a pound's worth, which
Okay.
is quite a bit, but for making the bomb, that would probably be about 4 uses of it. It's not bad at all. Yeah,
Yay.
yeah, but you need to get the other 2 materials in order to do that, which, if you want, actually, I'll mark that down for you. Just to make sure that in the future, if I ever find where the other 2 pieces that I put on there, just make sure. So bomb leaves.
I'm just sitting on the rock waiting for them to be done.
I went off when you did.
So yeah, as you're going through, you find that he's just basically waiting on the griffin, as it kind of gets a very kind of bloodied face as it finishes eating, and it kind of shakes its head, looking very confused for a moment. Then it moves over and just kind of basically it's like watching almost like watching a dog just kind of just dunk its head into the water. You just see
Oh my god.
shakes its head, kind of looks over to you like, I did.
It's like
Gives
an
a-
overgrown cat.
It is it is like an overgrown
I must
cat.
I must pet animal.
So you're moving up to try and pet it.
Yes. Do I have to roll
Uh,
animal handling?
I'll say yes. Its hair kind of stands on end as it kind of lifts its leg up like a very defensive posture behind you. Zadim just kind of makes a very dismissive, oh, just behave, and it slowly puts it down, lets you kind of sniffs you, and you are able to put your hand on it, very respectful, just rubbing its nose lightly as it kind of just does this thing where it like moves forward into it, kind of makes a little snapping motion like it's going to bite your hand, and then just kind of pushes its entire body against you, just kind of nudges
Oh,
you,
God.
throwing you off. It's basically like, again, like a big old cat, just kind of just all of a sudden just thump as it's trying to nuzzle up to you, essentially.
This is great.
It's just making this kind of this birdie purring sound.
I love this animal. I
And
can't
then-
steal it.
And then it turns over towards Zadim, kind of tilts its head, just like, did I do good?
I have my hand, so yeah.
No, it's
You
look
did
at Zadim.
very good.
It kind of does this little like stretch, just like, ah, yeah, and then it moves over and kind of nudges the excuse, just kind of like, I get pets too, yes, kind of like
Oh my God.
looking you over, just like, kind of does those little like B nose where it's like just kind of clearly carving through the ground, just like watching you, just like, yes.
I'll pet them, but I'll look away while doing it.
You're just like,
You too
"Ugh,
dare,
gross." It nuzzles up into your hand immediately, just yes, just get more, as it pushes up against you, just very happy to have the attention. It kind of again stretches out again, just looks around, and sits down, just waiting for you guys to decide what to do. Which you've gotten your little gold pouch. You've got a. If you want to take the cowbell, you can.
Would I
I'm good.
happen to know anything about the flower we're looking for? Like if it grows closer to water, if it grows somewhere else, or what?
You would need to roll your own nature check. If you had asked Zadim, Zadim would have told you that they prefer cold areas, which are in the mountains, which means that there probably is not a lot of water that is like streams. It's probably like melted ice, very cold water.
Well, I mean, didn't he say this out loud?
I gave the information
No,
to him.
no, I didn't.
He did not say that he said it out loud.
None of you asked me.
No,
No.
and you don't know that he knows this.
Oh,
You're
shit.
you're pretty sure that it's a mountainous flower. I mean, it's gotta be up in the mountains. I mean, that's what you were told to go find it. Maybe. Or was it supposed to be in the
Maybe you
lowlands?
should have asked the ranger if he knows what's going on here.
Are you guys done dissecting this creature?
I mean, we already hit it, so the answer would be yes.
Yes, we are done.
So you guys are wanting to continue on your quest? I meant to put an X to that a while ago.
Yeah, I was just sitting on the rock waiting for them to be done.
Okay.
Can she shove him off the rock?
You can try.
Mr. Noodles
What do I
wants to
need to
snap
do?
it better.
Mr. Noodles can't make the attack action, but he can hiss at her intimidatingly.
Hi, little friend.
You're about to push him off, and then you see the haste go. Sss. You're like, hello.
I'm gonna try this and see what happens. He bit me.
No. You reach out. You're like, can I pet him? And he just kind of looks at your hand, just like slowly slinks back, and you just see eyes just kind of glowing from behind the hood, just like.
I mean, my whole point was to distract it so I could shove him.
No, it's quite clearly got its eye on you.
Damn!
It's also technically not an animal.
Yeah, it's a familiar. It's very much aware of what you're trying to do at this point. It's just like, don't go there, girlfriend.
Why is it ghetto?
I'm just looking at her.
Yeah, you can see what she's trying to do, but with
There's no means to hide it. I'm not hiding shit.
no, there's not really a means to hide it. No. So you're kind of just you're doing your thing, just kind of looking at you like.
I'm going to use prestidigitation,
Okay.
and I'm going to have her smell like a very bad odor, like someone farted in her face.
Okay.
Okay, look, sweetheart. I live in the woods. Really think that smell's gonna bother me?
Yeah, you're kind of doing it right in front of her face, so it's just kind of like she sees you and she's like, boy. I've smelled some bad stuff before.
Meanwhile, Zadim's just standing here like,
Guys,
All
you're
right,
done being
then-
childish.
All right, then I'm going to put like a ringing in her ears, just constant ringing.
So basically, it's like you suddenly start hearing a bell, just like ding 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 ding. You're just like, is that the cowbell? Man, is that wow, that cowbell's loud. Is that the cowbell?
And then I'll get up and walk over to
Right.
Zadim,
Okay.
and we could carry on.
Do you guys take the cowbell with you as well, or are you just kind of leaving that?
I'm
I'll
taking the
take
cowbell.
Okay.
Shaking the cowbell.
You're like, I'm gonna take.
Oh.
Yeah, she was the one who was looking through stuff. So if we're gonna let her take it, you do see that there is a symbol etched onto the cowbell. Looks like of some house or something like that.
Do I know what it is?
Roll a history check.
Why do you pick the ones that I would have for seeing?
It is a cowbell.
Fuck off. Can I show it to Zadim?
Sure.
And see if he recognizes it?
So you
Just
show it to
fuck this
do
fucking
I
Zadine.
recognize it?
You've never seen that before. Looks like probably from one of the people here rather than from the mountainous folk.
What I recognize it.
I didn't show it to you.
You're
Okay.
showing it to people. It's kind of you're not exactly able to just be
I
subtle
was
about
with
this.
Zadim. I was with Zadim.
Yeah, you
Look
can't
away.
exactly. So you're just like, look away. You cannot see this.
It's ringing in my ears. I know it's you.
No, you don't. I never said that you knew.
Oh yeah, by the way, I think the ring lasts an hour.
Oh no.
Yep, up to 1
Logically-
hour.
Okay, if you're gonna
Logically
do
speaking,
if you're doing that, then I'd say roll an Arcana check to see if you figured out who is doing this ringing in your ears. Yeah, she kind of looks at you and it's just like gives you a squinty eye. Just I know it's you.
sure, that wasn't me.
Yeah, Zadim's just like, oh, I didn't do it.
I
He's
don't
just like,
stop
I'm
it.
being innocent here, dang it.
But
Yeah,
yeah, do I know what the symbol is?
I'll say that if as you guys are traveling, if at that point she allows you to see it.
bitch. Fine.
Okay, so as she calls you a bitch and says fine, she lets you see it. The house it is a house symbol, which you're not surprised by. There are a lot of different people who have had herds of cattle in the area. Most of the time they try and avoid forests, travel too much. There's too much chance of various things going wrong, as quite clearly this apparently has befallen this person. For this particular symbol, let me see if this is, grab that here, make sure I got the names right. Yes. It has the two symbols on it. One of it is one that you recognize as the symbol of Dendreus, the fertility god, and the one above it is the symbol of the who are called the Anvil clan. Despite being called the Anvil clan, they are actually herders and such. Most of their anvil work is for horseshoes and the like.
You share this knowledge?
Is he done? Give me the knowledge,
Yep.
or is there more? Okay. Yeah, I'll just mention it.
Just offhanded conversation as we continue whichever direction we're going, because I see two.
We're going west.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
West feels like it's going backwards on this map.
Yeah, on this map, you guys came from this area. You guys were trying to
Okay.
sneak around it, but as you guys got to here, with the nat 1 in stealth, it poked his head out. You were just like, I got this. Basically, you did a Han Solo step, snap. Looks down at it, and the creature's poked his head out, just like, what's that? Over there!
I absolutely imagine you ran into a fucking low-hanging tree branch.
I mean, if you
I'm
did that, I
sorry.
would have had him,
Whatever you want.
starting prone.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and end the ringing. By the way.
R.I.P.
I
nat
feel
1
like
stealth,
if you
yeah.
had it, if you had like done it long enough, you might not notice for probably the next 5 minutes.
That moment, you're just like, I'm calm. I hear the ringing. I'm ignoring it.
I mean, if she's using fucking Thunderbolt, I can only assume she has some form of tinnitus or something.
Of using
Not
Thunderbolt,
wrong.
that's lightning
The fucking-
damage. That's not thunder
I'm sorry?
damage.
Oh, my bad. I keep forgetting thunder is what makes the noise.
Yeah. Lightning is the electricity. Basically, you're holding your hand together and forming a bolt of pure electricity. So,
Is it bad? All I thought was Pikachu.
Pikachu, I choose you. Use Thunderbolt. So, you guys continue westward with your little excursion to get parts and look over the kill that it had made, as well as the cowbell. You guys get to about the base of the mountain as sun's going down, with a few areas of possible clearings to just kind of set up camp, grab the dead wood, and make sure to clear it up. As you guys settle
I
in
use
for the night.
fireball to light the fire.
Okay, so you put in all the dead wood to make a little pit, and you
Is that a
just
cantrip or a spell? I have to
Cantrip.
ask. Huh.
Yep.
I wonder if this.
it's one that you wouldn't have access to.
Okay.
So you kind of reach over and just set it on fire, and it begins burning and crackling quite nicely. You have the ability to just kind of sit down, relax, and who would like to take first watch? Who said that?
Zadim.
Okay, so Zadim, you're taking first watch. Roll me a perception check, as I'm going to... I still need to get the jukebox for battle audio eventually worked up. Nice and 17. With the 17, as you're kind of just leaning back, just kind of, again, relaxing, enjoying the firelight as the other two curl up and go to sleep. Bright Eye is sitting next to you, nuzzling into your lap, just kind of just drops his head and just kind of nuzzles into your chest as you give it a head scratches. After a moment, you see the familiar face of the Dryad kind of just poke his head back in towards the firelight, again giving that kind of that look towards the fire of just unease, and kind of just tilts its head slightly and gives almost a shrug, just like, it's not burning me, it's not hurting anything, as it gives again that little wave that you gave it before. You are completely muffled, friend. I cannot hear you.
Yeah.
I'll wave back, and since this is the second time now that I've seen it, I guess I'll kind of gesture for it to come over if they want. I can't tell at this point, so I'll say they, gender-wise, what it is, what they are.
It appears to have a feminine form. You're not sure if that's necessarily their gender. It's, a dryad. But it kind of gives a look towards you when you motion towards it. Kind of looks at the fire, looks back at you, gives a little kind of a shrinking back motion, but makes kind of a motion to seat itself, very cautiously watching you as it does so. What languages do you speak?
Probably not dryad.
Well,
What does the
Dryad
dryad
isn't.
speak?
It's speaking to you in a language that's very, very melodic. It's kind of this
Oh, is it what?
wavery kind of speak, almost a sing-songy voice.
Celestial and common.
Alright, so you do not speak this language.
Neither
Did you pick your far traveler languages?
I did.
Yeah, because I hear your two languages. I'm looking at it like that doesn't sound right. You're supposed to have at least one other language. Let me see here if that's true or if I'm talking at my. Yes, you get any one of your choice.
Okay. I thought that was counting towards common. In that case, I will take Sylvan. Sounds interesting. I'll take Sylvan. I never had Sylvan before.
Sylvan would be something that your mountainous area would have had brushes with. There are a few people who come through of that nature. Alright, so you are hearing it speak, and it is speaking in Sylvan, actually. Remarkably enough, you hit right on the nose. So you hear that melodious voice just kind of saying, "Hello there. You've gotten yourself into quite the pickle now, haven't you?"
Today certainly could have gone better, yes.
There's a kind of a lift to its head, is almost like this delighted as it kind of smiles. It's just like, so I see. That creature's been befouling the riverside for a good few weeks. Sad, but necessary. They are not. They are not kind.
Yes, I could ascertain that.
You're asleep.
Negrino? No. This is out of character.
Mhm.
I have other people talking to me or watch the stream. You might want to speak just a little louder because there are some people who can't hear.
Okay, sure thing.
I could ascertain that, yes. May I ask you your name?
We have many names. I take the name of my tree, Spruce. In Sylvan, it sounds much more melodic, but she's just her name's Spruce.
Fair
Sorry.
I am called Zadim.
Zadim,
It is nice to meet you.
and you. Forgive me, I could hardly help myself. You are dressed very odd. I had to take a look. I did not expect you to be able to speak my language, though. That is even more of a surprise.
Out of character. I'm just trying to think of a reason why I wouldn't have Sylvan.
As I
Or
said, you've had people who've passed through who do speak Sylvan. Predominantly a type of people who are called Huskimo. They're a form of hound folk. They predominantly speak Common and Sylvan, and occasionally you would have picked up on that language.
Okay, fair enough.
There have been travelers who come to my mountain. They have spoken Sylvan before. It makes it easier to communicate when you know a shared language.
That is fair. I would presume that you are well versed in the language, as you speak it without the normal, kind of makes a clicking noise in the back of her throat that many people stumble over. It is nice to speak with someone again. But then, I do hope that you are keeping your wits about you. It is becoming less safe in these forests. That creature is just one. I saw another one who passed through. They're not a migratory creature. They have a home that they settle into unless they are thrown out. I do not know where they originate from, but the idea that this thing has been forced away, I do not like it.
Indeed. For something that large and that dangerous to be kicked out of its abode, I would not wish to happen upon whatever creature managed to do this.
No, nor would I. She gives a little pat to one of the trees, glances at you. Keep your eyes up, Ranger, and may the eyes of the moon watch over you. Gives a little nod of her head, and slinking back into the shadows.
Thank you. I will. And her eyes be upon you as well.
And with that, she vanishes into the shadows. The rest of your evening spent with the crackling of the fire, calls of distant creatures that are familiar to you, hawks and deer and such like that. Eventually your watch comes to an end, and who would you like to wake for the second watch?
I'll take it.
Alright, I'll take Novia.
Okay, so you wake her up.
Mhm.
Alright. And perception check from you. Don't 13 is still good.
No, someone just sent me a text saying, "May R and Jesus be with you," and I'm staring at like all my teeth and letters.
I mean, it could be worse. I'm wearing my my Dunkin' Donuts themed Dungeons and Dragons shirt instead of my "Was I smiling? I hadn't noticed. Now roll initiative" shirt, because this is a more casual stream for right now. It's not into the sweeping landscapes of oh no, it's all going to happen now. We're all going to die. You know, the usual at 40 AMs.
Oh, I'm sorry. You sure about that? Because we already had that moment with fucking Zadim being smacked in the face with alien acid.
Yeah, but that was just one spit. It didn't get its second spit back.
That's my point.
I healed him. It's
He
fine.
healed him. He's fine. He's alive.
We got a couple extra burns, but it's fine.
Yeah, he'll live. It'll give him character. With a 13, you hear the sounds of the forest as well. You don't really see anything out in the distance, so you're pretty relaxed for right now. As you go back to sleep, I presume that you're waking up your verbal sparring partner.
Yeah, by the way, I didn't forget that ringing in my ear. She's gonna jab him with her staff.
Just kind of just bop. As you are awakened with a staff in your gut.
Wake up. She's gonna walk off and go back to sleep.
Alright, so you want me to...
Perception check.
Alright.
Okay. Looking around, it's still got that edge of night feeling where it's like things could be moving about, but the moons are growing more in fullness, so it gives enough light for you to rest, relax a little easier, keep your wits about you as you have your little snake friend just kind of dozing on your shoulder. Eventually the moons fall and the sun begins to rise as morning comes upon you. Alright, so everyone has taken...
I'll wake everyone up.
Okay. So everyone has had a...
He's gonna get me back.
You're asleep, you don't know what's going to happen. So you have you're awakened up, however you wish to do so. Mhm.
Would she be in a bedroll?
Is
I
she
just
in a
figured
bedroll?
bedroll?
I just figured she's sleeping on the ground.
So she's completely
Would
on the
she?
ground at the moment. If you got a bedroll, you can sleep in a bedroll. It is more comfortable to sleep in a bedroll.
I don't think I have a bedroll on my person though. So
Is it in your pack that you got?
in the component pouch
No,
or
the
the
No,
scholar's
bag.
pack?
Your
What kit did you? What pack
This-
did you get? Like
The
Explorer's
scholar's
pack?
pack.
scholar's pack.
No, that
Book
she
of
would
lore,
have
bottle
one.
of ink, little bag of sand, little knife. Nope, that does not have a bedroll in it. You'd have had
I
to buy
didn't think
your
I
own.
which I didn't. I'm sure she's used to
All right,
sleeping on the
I'll
ground
just wake
anyway.
everyone up.
Okay. So he's like,
He's gonna like set my bedroll on fire, wouldn't he?
No,
No.
it wasn't.
there are other ways to
I was
sit
just,
and
I
wake
was
you
just
up.
going to tie it real tight, and you could get out of it.
I become Aizawa for the next turn.
Oh boy. So yeah, you wake them up. They roll their shoulders from, sleeping on the ground, but everyone seems to be in good spirits. You all have taken a long rest, so if your HP was reduced by the battle, you are now at full health, and you get your spells back.
Cool beans.
All right. Moving up towards the side of the mountain, you guys
Is it
have
like a steep climb?
not for the first part of it. For the first part of it, it's more rugged, difficult, but with Zadim helping to keep you guys more on track, more focused on where you're going, it becomes less difficult terrain to do so. As you get further
Real
up, there,
quick, I just wanted to tell them about what I knew about the flower.
Oh,
And,
yes.
Yeah, because, it wouldn't hurt, because none of you asked. And I was also going to mention about the dryad. Yes.
Would there be like
So-
any kind of thing that I could roll to see like if the dryad has any kind of weird intentions or why it would show up or anything like that?
I mean, mm,
That was a question in the DM, Tyler. Tyler, he's vanished.
give him a minute.
Oh.
Hold on. He said, give him a second.
He said that was weird. Hold on. Oh no.
am I back?
There we go.
That was weird. I did not push the button on my headset, which apparently there's a universal mute thing for that. I did not push that, but it was like, yes, you are muted. I'm like, I don't want to be. And it took me a moment to actually realize. I'm like, did I disconnect? No, I'm still connected. But yeah, it was apparently the universal mute button. No worries, guys. What was your question again?
Okay, one thing that's out of character. Zadim, you have fans, so you need to start eating your mic. Second of
boy.
all, would there be anything that I could like roll to see if maybe
History.
the dryad has weird intentions or
History check.
okay. Fuck! I'm opening the wrong window. There we go. Shut up.
15. Okay. Dryads are reclusive. They tend to act as guardians of wherever they are essentially born into. They are very inquisitive about things they don't understand, especially for things that they think might be foreign or beautiful or curious. And so sometimes they'll just kind of move a little closer just to investigate. The fact that she didn't try to charm him speaks low for the fact that it's probably got more just curiosity and was willing to come out and speak to him. Though part of that may have also been the fact that his griffin had its head in his lap and she didn't wish to disturb the creature. You with the 15, you'd also know that generally they don't work alone. They generally have some other creatures within this forest who do assist them. Predominantly, the with the 15, you're not sure exactly what creatures might be in this forest, but you at the very least know that they may have some friends in the forest who might be either watching you guys or watching over you guys.
The 50-50 chance of that makes me very uncomfortable.
You're welcome. So you know this. Whether you relay that is up to you.
I'll relate to them.
Okay.
For
Which-
once, I'm being nice to you. How do I say his name?
Ixius.
Yeah, just Ixius.
For once, I'm being nice to him. It
What
must
was
be
that
the
last bit
apocalypse.
about the dryad?
The Dryad has friends who it will work with. Whether you would call them friends or allies is debatable. Who or what they may be, she doesn't know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, watch out because this dryad is not alone. And if she tries to charm you, I'd rather not wake up to you aiming an arrow at my face.
It wouldn't do anything that wouldn't be
Are
outside.
you
of
always
his-
this paranoid?
When you live alone and you live in the woods, you can't trust anyone without expecting them to either A, rob you, B, kill you, or C, in the case of that creature back there, eat you.
This is true.
I just sigh and continue along.
Yeah, no worries. So heading towards the mountainside, the first part of it with Zadim leading. I was about to call you Zaidim again. Zadim leading. Zadim, roll me a survival check with advantage. For scaling that mountainside.
Are we actually scaling now?
You are at the point where you, when the 19 is actually for when you're scaling, the 12 is for how long it takes for you to get there. Which,
Okay.
thankfully, I was actually going to say to roll a survival check when you actually get to the scaling mountain, but he rolled it twice, which actually helps take care of that. So with the 12, it's still a little bit rough going. The paths aren't exactly, well, paths per se. They're more lots of rugged rock that finding a good foothold that's safe to traverse can be a little bit finicky, but he's able to do it without slowing you too much. Bright Eye is one of the slower ones of it because even though it's a mountainside, they're just kind of like, I could just fly, and just kind of look around and just kind of flaps its wings and then looks at everyone and just kind of just pulls them back in, just like kind of just following along behind you guys. When you get to actual climb section of it, he's able to just find an area that's just sloped just enough with enough handholds to actually get you guys up with very little ease. Probably about getting close to noon. I'd say you're about a good 30-40 feet up. It's rock and stone. It's not exactly walking up the stairs. But with that, you're able to get up there. You look around. You can see for quite a ways. Not super far just because of how big the trees are. But you are able to continue up a little further. You do see a cavern as you pass by one of the entrances. It's about 12 feet tall, pretty wide. Looking inside of it, you don't see the glow of any sundrop flowers on there, which you guys can investigate, or you guys can continue up.
I'll investigate.
We're like in the middle of the mountain, right?
You guys are at the very lowest section of the mountain.
Yeah, I'll do an investigation here. Just a quick one. I'm not really going in the cave.
Yeah, you poke your head in,
I
but
don't
she
care.
she walks right in and she looks around. She's
Yep.
like, I'm gonna find it. She's like, I'm gonna find it. You can't hide it from me. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, and you're looking around. Inside, this area appears to have been some sort of cavern before, due to its low nature. Whatever might have rested here before, likely has long since vacated the area. There are a few various fungi and such like that in here. One of which does kind of stand out to you. It's got this little light, kind of this teal glow to it. Which
Yoink.
you're going to collect that. Roll me a survival check.
It explodes and it does to poison.
You're poisoned for the rest of the day. 14. So you pull out a knife and you kind of just get under it and you just kind of pop it up. It doesn't burst into spores, which you're like, whew, good. And you collect yourself some bomb shrooms, as I'm going to call them for the time being, because they are the second ingredient in the bomb that you've been trying to make.
Yes!
So you only have one left. That particular ingredient, though, is much harder to find. It's not going to be on the mountain.
Damn!
And with that, you're able to get about, say, a half pound worth of it. You don't need a huge amount of it, but you do need a decent chunk
amount.
of it. Yeah. So you would get about half pound worth of it.
Just imagine with a nat 25. What are you doing? I know everything about this cavern already.
Nah, it's mostly that it's just a freaking wide open area that you kind of look in and you're just like, I can already see there's mushrooms to the left of me, bones to my right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you.
That was a reference to a song that I don't know. And I feel bad that I don't know it.
You're fine. It was a dated reference anyway.
Old man! No.
Now you listen here, Missy. So you guys you see her just kind of pop out a couple mushrooms, gets a bag full of them, wraps them up. Seems harmless enough. And you guys continue upwards.
Yep.
All right. Cresting higher and higher, there are areas that make it a lot easier to just scale it. In terms of how long it takes, it does take you quite a bit of time just due to the fact that there are areas that are just completely sheer. You have to just kind of grab onto handholds and footholds and just climb up, which you all are pretty physically active. You guys can make it without too much difficulty, but it just slows you down because you have to climb up them before you can get to the next level. Getting to about a couple hours, almost sundown. You guys are able to get it to about 150, 175 feet up. Still nowhere near the midsection of these mountains. These are towers for a reason. You guys have a better view of the area where you guys can take some of the wood that you may have collected along the way and set up a little camp. There are a few caverns that you can kind of peek into if you want to.
I'll do it.
As well.
I'll let Mr. Noodles help her.
Okay. So Mr. Noodles, you just see flies over and just kind of wraps around you, just kind of looks at your face, just licks your cheek, and then just kind of nuzzles into you.
Aww, she's gonna pet Mr. Noodles while she investigates.
I'll
Would that be with
investigate some of
advantage
the
or
other
no?
ones.
Okay. Roll investigations individually.
Would it be with advantage since Mr. Noodles is helping me?
Yes.
Okay.
And he has advantage because he's a ranger whose favorite terrain is mountainous.
I almost got another nat 20. Holy shit!
You are got a keen eye to you. With a 24, yeah, you find a few that are pretty good. As a Zadim, you're kind of just like, man, these places are nowhere near as good as where home is. They're decent, and you give an inspection to one of the ones that she points out, which she's like, yeah, this looks like it's been empty for a while. There's nothing, no bones in it, which is definitely a plus. Looks like it actually has a few kind of very oddly placed tunnels where it looks like something like very large had burrowed through at one point and then burrowed somewhat upward, giving a kind of off-place curve to it as it was going up and up. Either that or it had been going down. You're not sure which direction it had been going, but it gives you a place where you can kind of just rest,
Can I investigate
relax.
the tunnel?
Hey,
Or the smaller
I
tunnel?
come to the group and I say, we are not choosing this cavern. We are leaving right now. We are choosing very far away.
You're just like,
Speak
no,
louder.
we're
No,
leaving.
wow.
Yeah, speak a little louder.
This is the cavern where the Unkeg live.
It's bigger than
And
the
now
Unkeg.
it does not live there because something bigger or more powerful chased it out. So therefore, we are going somewhat very far away so we do not encounter whatever it is that almost killed us.
Yeah, what's in here?
With
Navarre
the
just completely ignores him and looks at
with,
Hey,
with the
you're-
investigation, yep.
You turn up Madrina.
I'll turn him up a
Stream
little more.
Problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's either eating his mic or he's in the distance. Speak again, Madrino.
How's this?
A little bit better. There you go. That better, everyone? Hopefully that's better. Giving the
Yes.
okay hand, even though none of you can see it.
Yeah, I turned them a bit up myself.
All right. Yep.
Check some real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead. But while you're doing that, Mad, you're Zadim's just kind of looking around, just like, yeah, I am afraid we should move. Naivara, you're just like, "Well, but why? I mean, this like everything in here looks like it's probably months old. Like whatever this is either long gone or it's not come through here in quite some time. At least according to the investigation you got, which was pretty good. You were pretty, getting in on that. You're like, yeah, I know what I'm looking at. If you want to try and figure out what could have made something like this, you would have to roll a nature check.
Okay. Fuck! Well, I got a
It
20.
would have been a 20. Yeah. Net 20 on the other side. But yeah, with a 20, you're kind of looking around, you're just like,
Remember, she's getting help.
oh yeah, she's
Oh,
getting
he
help.
is
Yeah.
helping.
So yeah, you got a net 20.
Okay, so yeah.
The creation of these kind of tunnels implies something large. It's the kind of the nature of it that make you kind of lean back and go, that's not indigenous to this area. That's weird. But you kind of shake your head, but with kind of just that gentle head pats of the wing of Mr. Noodle, just kind of reassuring you, just like, yeah, trust your instincts. You've
Okay,
heard
Mr. Miyaki.
wax on, wax off. As you think about it, whatever this is, the reason why it probably was gone months ago is probably due to the winter, thinking about it. Because most creatures like purple worms don't tend to stay where it's super cold. They tend to try and burrow down as deep as it can.
Oh, so this tunnel is going down, not up, like I thought. Okay.
Yeah, this tunnel is. There is a tunnels that are part of it is going up, which means that it originated higher up, but the primary area of it looks like it was going down at the time.
Okay.
DM, did you say purple worms?
I did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
as I
we
said,
did.
it's been gone for months, according to the net 20 that she got there.
That's when he heaven. I'll never roll like this again.
Okay.
And she didn't tell you this yet. She's still looking around.
Mm-hmm.
She just pokes right out and relays this. Because, I mean, she's not going to go much further in the tunnel, otherwise she'll fall.
No, it's not like she's going to fall. It's like a slope. It's not like you step out and you go wee hoo hoo wee. No, it's a slope.
Okay, but I don't trust myself to not slide. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So she's going to climb out and relay all of this while petting Mr. Noodle because he's been a helpful snake.
Actually, let me move you guys over to a little cavern area.
Loading!
I'm just standing outside.
You're just like, nope,
I'm overseeing. It's not my job to get dirty.
not my division.
Not my fucking hell.
So you relay this information that the creature's been gone for months on end, probably again due to the winter cold, driven it downwards deep into the earth. It's not indigenous there, so you're not sure how long it would have survived, but it doesn't seem to be around here at all.
I think we should be safe. And while I wouldn't chance following this tunnel, we at least know that it won't be further up. This is aimed at Eox. Eoxys? You're a Pokemon
Ixius.
now!
Ixius.
Ixius! You're a Pokemon,
Jesus,
come
not
here.
that hard.
It's
You
an
know what?
Eastern
You
dialect.
know what?
She's not used to your Eastern dialect.
I'm not used to people.
That is for sure.
Guru,
hmm
out of character, what season is it?
It is
Spring.
coming into spring.
Ah, so just around the time when something like that might come back.
Ah!
With the net 20, if it went down, it's likely looking for a nest, and if it didn't make a nest up here, it would not return here. This place would be terrible for hunting, essentially.
Okay.
Okay. I still don't think we should be here.
Zadim, stop doing this!
But alright.
We can just go further up.
You guys can.
I mean, we need to. We still haven't found the flower.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are going to continue up?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Just let me know when we make individual rolls for climbing.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to roll a investigation checks while you're going up to see if there's other caverns that you guys can poke into, you guys can.
Should we do it individually or just have one person?
Uh,
I'm giving myself help.
so you have him go back. So if you want to, go ahead. I'll let you roll for the group. So you guys are trusting Ixius, which Ixius is very keen-eyed, especially when he's got his little Mr. Noodle flying out in the air and letting him take a moment to look through his eyes every now and then. Which with that, when you get to about almost the 300 point, which is about midway through it, you actually see a little crevasse that's kind of jutting in about 2 different directions that is hiding a little cavern that you can just it's more of a slide into it rather than just climbing into it. But it would be safe to do it so, and from the look of it, looks like it's very difficult for most things to get into it.
I just pointed out to the
Noodle.
others, and I say there's a good space a little further up.
Good place to rest?
Yes.
Alright. She's at the bottom. Like, everyone has been climbing ahead of her.
Okay. So she's like in the back, just like looking up, just like, "Are you sure this is safe? Okay, sure, I'm following your lead." So you follow after them. You all slide in. Again, there's that area to it that's not the most safe because it is kind of a ledge still, but it's got enough of a curve to it that gives you a chance to just kind of slide in and kind of bounce through, and you would be able to set up. And the cave is similar to the cave that you are currently in, so if you guys want to drop your tokens. Did any of you grab any wood along your way? Because I don't remember anyone saying that for firewood.
I don't.
We
Okay.
did not.
Okay, so you do not have a fire, and the sun is going down and the moons are rising. Alright, so you guys are going to be a little bit cold for the night, but it's to be expected. You guys were expecting to get up
Can
a
I
little
cut off to
faster.
the fucking griffin?
Why is this map like so blurry?
Why is it so wet?
It's blurry for me.
It's because it's a zoomed in image.
It is a zoomed in image, yeah. The main
Oh.
one actually had a lot more condensation to it that I didn't like. Too much white area that I was just like, no, stop that. I'm going to try and work on a few other names.
Can I cut up to the griffin for warmth?
Will Mr. Bright Eyes allow this?
Miss Bright Eyes.
Miss
And
Bright Eyes, my apologies.
You'd have to roll for it.
Okay, roll animal handling, just straight.
Ah!
Yeah, it kind of glares at you, just kind of. It's like it's like you try and do it like kind of like a cartoon, where it's like you like scoot over, just like, yeah, I can do this. You kind of slowly lean over to put it on. You see his foot just kind of push against you, just push you away, just like no.
I figured it would like me after earlier, but damn.
It's currently in the midst of cuddling up to Zadim. It's more just like, yes, this is where I want to be. Basically, that big cat is just mine. This is my spot.
Trail. It has like a cat. Fucking bipolar.
It is half cat, well, lion, but you know what I mean.
Feline.
It is feline regardless.
Stop that.
Listen,
I'll take first watch.
you knew that I was a pun master from the get-go. You knew what you were getting into. So go ahead and roll perception for first watch.
I got it. Oh, never mind.
You're
Am I ever gonna roll high on this at all? Ever?
you've rolled high. You rolled an 18 on your Thunderbolt.
I mean on perception.
Oh,
Well, you kind of rolled before I was going to give you help, but okay.
so yeah, you kind of. She's like, no, go to sleep, and you're like, yeah, sure, you go to sleep.
Well, Mr. Noodles doesn't need sleep.
Technically, he doesn't. So if you want to,
I didn't know. I heard him say I'll roll.
Yeah, so roll again for Mr. Noodles kind of pointing stuff out for you. Okay.
That's much better.
With a 20 perception rather than a 9, you're
Thank
kind
you,
of just,
Mr. Noodles.
Mr. Noodles gives you a little pat on the head, just gives you a little nudge, just like, no worries, I gotcha. It's not necessarily quiet. There's kind of that wind in the air. You hear a distant crackling of thunder. It's been a while since you've seen rain clouds that actually brought rain rather than snow, which is both mildly an appealing thought, but it's also still a little bit cold. It's not quite spring yet, so you're like, could be good. There's a few forms that just kind of flutter about through the trees, which you'd presume are mostly nocturnal creatures, owls and such like that. You've never been quite this high up in the air before, not since time long since past. It's hard to remember some of those days now, especially after you started adventuring, but the sound of thunder is not the most comforting, but helps you relax, feel a bit more rested. Eventually your watch comes to an end, and you wake up the next person for watch.
I'll wake up Zadim.
Okay. So you move over, you wake him up. Miss Bright Eye kind of looks at you with like one eye slowly opening, just like.
Var gives her an unimpressed look.
So, Jadim, you've been awakened. You have a big old cat on your chest.
Mr. Noodles is going to be passed on.
This is nothing new.
Mr. Noodles, he's just like completely encompassed by this big old kitty cat, and he's just like, "Yep, this is about what I was expecting." Mm-hmm.
She ain't got her butt in your face, hell.
Nah, not tonight. But you have Mr. Noodle just kind of hop off of her shoulder as she goes to lay down, kind of sits on your chest as well, just kind of tilts his head at you, just like, you getting up or no?
Yes.
Kind of wraps
Waves
around,
it off, like-
it wraps around your shoulders and lets you sit up. And go ahead and roll me that perception with advantage.
Damn!
Nice, and nat 20. Magnifique. So you're keeping a keen eye out. You're watching the area. As you watch, you hear it more than you see it, until you see a few rocks kind of go, kind of scattering across the entrance in front of you, as something sounds like it's landed in a cavern above you. Can't see where it came from. It probably came from somewhere higher up. Means it probably has some kind of flight speed to it. The sound that you hear is surprisingly quite familiar. You actually kind of perk up a little bit as you hear the sound of a hippogriff landing in a cavern above you. Other than that, there's not too much going on. You hear the sound of it just kind of making noises. Miss Bright Eye kind of perks up, kind of tilting its head from side to side, kind of looking up towards the ceiling like, I know that noise. I know that. Does the bird full reach around head, just like, I can see you somehow, but I can't see you. Eventually, though, it kind of just scoots into you, gives you a chest little thump with its head. Anything you want to do during your watch besides just keep an eye out? Matt, are you still
No,
there?
I'm good.
Okay, so you're pretty sure that you're aware of what's going on in the area. Give a little shrug. Pass on Mr. Noodles as Ixius is awakened for his watch. You go to sleep, and Ixius, roll me that perception check with advantage.
Mr. Noodles is a helpful little noodle.
Mr. Noodles is a very good noodle.
Let's see. Perception.
22. All right. You hear that also. You also hear that distant sound of thunder. It's not the most comforting of sounds. You're a long way from home. You remember when you were away like this before? It reminds you of just how little of the world you know. So much you still need to go out and see. Peeking there or out, looking around, keeping an eye on things. It's beautiful up here. Getting a chance to look down on the world and get a sense for just the scope of everything. You do notice a few of the night creatures kind of just dancing around, jumping from side to side as they're wont to do. A few squirrels, a few owls. You swear at one point when you look down you see a bear that just kind of just lumbering around, but you're so high up you're not sure if you saw it was a bear or not. Just this big kind of mass just kind of poked his head out, moved around a little bit, and then just walked back into the forest. And as you guys begin waking up, the air begins to crackle a little bit as you guys start to have more thunderbolts and lightnings kind of just dropping down. The storm starting to break above you guys would make it a little bit harder for you guys to traverse. If you guys want to stay in the shelter, wait for it to pass, you can. The stone will be a little bit slick, but you guys can continue onwards if you want to continue looking for the flower as you're dropped in tail.
We'll look for the flower.
Okay.
Alright, well.
Yeah. I say weather the storm.
Okay. Alright, so as you guys make your way out, you guys can look up and see the storm is breaking. Very light drizzling of rain at first, a few cracks of lightning in the distance. As you guys are climbing, I would like you guys to make, because you have the ranger helping you out, I'm going to say a straight athletics check.
At this moment, I'm willing to cast Blessed on everyone.
Okay, so roll a d4 for that. So it lasts for 10 minutes as you're doing some of your climbing areas.
Yep.
How many cleric spells did you get when you leveled up?
I got 2. Cure Wounds and Bless at level 1, and then
Right, and then you
Healing
got,
Word at level 2.
I thought you got those at level 2 when you picked your subclass, which you only have been able to get the 2.
Well, either way, I'll still have Bless.
Yeah, you'd still have blessed because that's one of those. Okay, just making sure. I'm just like, you have
thank
more than one of
God.
those. So it was the 19. You just rolling a d4 to add to it.
Oh,
So Ixius got
Okay,
an
so I rolled
11. So yeah, you would have
I
the
got
19.
I got a. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
so 22.
Did you roll that d4?
It was. It was
Everyone rolls a d4 individually. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So Ixius got an 11.
no, it would be higher because Mr. Noodles.
Mr. Noodles, so yeah, so it would be a 16. So yeah, you got a 20. And Zadim got a 3 plus 16. Okay, so you guys are fine. Climbing up the mountainside, it's still very slick. If you guys didn't have the bless, you guys would have had some shortcomings and probably had people sliding back. But with
This is Breath of the Wild flashbacks.
That's essentially what was going to happen if you guys hadn't had those athletic checks as high as you did. Just that climbing up and that moment of just slipping down. Yeah, but you guys you're pretty good. Mr. Noodles is essentially just kind of giving you little nudges here and there, just like no, no, go there.
I see him like trying to pull me.
He's essentially he's trying his best. He's a good danger noodle. But you managed to get up to the next area of it. By now it's starting to get a little bit thinner in the air, colder, as you guys hit about 400 feet up. And as you do so, you come across another series of caverns that are kind of scattered about. If you guys want to go towards the nearest one, you can. If you guys want to continue up a little higher, increases your chances. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer. You might need to make another check before you get there.
I'll say go
I
up
think
while the
investigate.
plus is still active.
Okay.
Okay.
So roll me another.
No, it's not my decision. Like,
Oh yeah,
agree on.
sorry, I apologize. Go ahead, guys.
I was thinking going to the cavern.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
Okay. So you guys are gonna poke your heads into the cavern. So okay. So as you guys do so, you guys look in, looking around. You're keeping your eyes open, keeping your eyes out, trying to make sure that you're pretty safe. As you guys do, we'll use this cavern. Are you all on the map?
No. Yeah, I
yeah.
am.
You are, but we have two people who have the same thing, and it's distracting to know which one's which.
It's me. Madrido's not on there.
Put a little dot on you so I know which one is which.
And drop me on there.
You can, when you go to your character, you just click on it, drag it, and drop it, but I'll drop it for you.
Thank you. I'm currently
No
on
worries,
my phone.
friend. If you're doing other stuff, I get it. It happens. So as you guys
Is
pop
this
in,
the cavern where we heard the hippogriff? I guess I don't remember what it was.
where he
Hippogriff,
heard
yeah.
the hippogriff sound, yes.
Yeah, is this the cavern where we heard him in?
This one is slightly above you. It's not quite where he heard it. But as he's looking around, it looks like there is the remains of a hippogriff.
Aww.
Very fresh remains.
Oh!
Can I
Can I
go
roll invest?
see what killed it? See if I can investigate it and see what
Not like
killed it.
I will also check.
Okay. Investigation check or survival check of your choice. You would have the add the D4 for bless. That is still active.
Let's go on. So I got a 19.
Ah, damn it, it didn't.
Yeah,
So
I
you
got a
can-
19.
Yeah, you can roll the D4 you two as well. Not that you.
Uh,
That's not a D4. That's rolling
No,
survival
I
again.
know. You said roll in survival as well as that's not it. No, that's
a
definitely not
D20.
it.
So you got a 4. Okay, so you got in total a 24. Okay. Between basically all three of you just kind of move up and you're just kind of like discussing it real quick. Just like, what could be, what could have done? You kind of look it over. You're just like, okay, need what? Let me see actually if there's a, so I can give you where that is. Is those only premium assets? Tartar sauce. I'll use this
Yeah.
one just because it'll work. It looks bloody, so that'll
I
work.
have some tartar sauce in my backpack, just so you know.
Nice.
Ew.
So yeah, it would be right around here. I'm actually going to turn it on its
It's
side.
in a jar.
But
Yeah.
no, I just say tartar sauce in general.
Yeah,
Oh.
so you guys want to move up to it. I'm just using one of the stock ones because I didn't have the hippogriff one. I thought I had that one prepared. My apologies. So you move up to it. Between all of you basically poking at it, trying to figure out what may have caused this damage. It takes a couple moments for you guys to kind of decide between yourselves because it's the way that it's killed that kind of throws you off, because in part of its hindquarters looks like it has spikes that are just kind of rammed into it. Probably about a good, I'd say about a good half foot to foot long spikes that are about
Jesus.
half an inch thick. Whereas towards its front, it's got something that clearly clamped on to its neck and tears across its wings.
Holy shit.
Because the three of you all with that essentially rolled almost near a 20 between them. You've heard of creatures that can do this. To manticores, this does, for you especially, I am on the wrong thing, sorry. For you especially, Zadim, you're aware that this is not the work of a griffin. It's almost a malicious intelligence.
So it's like it had pleasure instead of hunting.
It was definitely a hunt, but it had pleasure in the hunt. Like something
Ow!
that knew the damage it was causing. And, like, especially with the bite, it's not biting down directly on the throat to, like, crush it. It's like it held onto it, held it down. And then underneath is where there's, like, looks like very slow, methodical, multiple gashes of, like, claws draped across its throat.
That's horrifying.
The
That's not good.
the closest creature that you've ever heard of that might relate to something that might cause this kind of damage, you vaguely remember that essentially even griffins, I wouldn't say respect, but they fear the same airspace as this creature, as manticores are not exactly creatures to be trifled with.
No, they're not.
We should probably leave.
I'm gonna do a nice perception check.
Roll perception.
I want to do it as well, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, seeing this kind of danger, I'll say you can all can roll.
Oh, that's a 10. Sorry.
You're fine.
Don't forget your d4s.
Plus
Roll your
bonus, yeah.
d4s. Zadim and Navira, you can
I
all
keep
roll your
forgetting that. I'm
d4s.
so not used to that. Okay, so I rolled a 19 total.
So, two of you miss it. But luckily, Navira is able to just kind of grab you both and kind of just grab your mouth and just keep you from making any noise as you get both kind of look at her, and then slowly she turns your heads, and in the back of it you just hear this deep kind of this almost rattling. As a manticore is curled up, looking very calm, very quietly tired, sleeping and resting in the back. Say right around, let me drop it on the map for you so you can have an idea of where it is. Right over here. Kind of off in the shadows where you guys hadn't really seen it coming in.
We need to leave. Quickly.
Would I know if it threatens like the airspace of the town I'm from?
Because of your town knowledge, manticores are not generally something that would attack the airspace of a city. They're evil creatures, but
like people passing by, traveling to and from.
you've not heard reports of such a creature. But then again, you also haven't had access to all the reports that have been passed through to the Earl. It's possible that this might be a more recent issue, likely something that's been moving about. Not necessarily stationary, not necessarily creating a lasting home, just kind of meandering from place to place.
I'll whisper to him like, look, we need to get rid of this now. Before it becomes a real threat to people passing by the area.
Y'all know that blink gif of the guy who just leans back and he's blinking? Yeah, that's Navira right now.
Wait, what?
Look, it's sleeping. Just do a quick attack and finish it off.
Quick attack, he says.
Wait, what I know, excuse me, before I say this, do I know what race Ixius is?
Yes, they're not super uncommon. His particular class of the sub race is a little confusing for where he's at, but you're aware that he's likely a race called the Yuan-Ti. snake folk.
I'm going to assume that this brand of crazy is just based upon what you are, but where I'm from, we don't run in a manticore. We leave it alone.
And what if that thing hears us leaving and starts to follow us? Now's the best chance to kill it.
What if that thing hears us approaching?
I literally look at everyone. I would look at his bow, and I know she casts fucking spells. We can just attack it from right here.
If I die, I'm going to haunt it in the grave.
Don't worry, I can bring you back. Eventually.
That's not comforting. Alright, let's do this.
Yep, so you guys are going to approach it to where you can throw your spells at it.
Do spells have sneak attacks?
No. That's a rogue thing anyway.
That's sneak attack for rogues, but because it is
For
currently
rogues,
a unconscious creature, your attacks would have advantage on the attack. And actually, let me see here.
I'm going to give the
I missed my sneak attack already.
Mr. Noodles and
Alright.
have him help her.
Let me see conditions real quick. Sleep has a specific conditioning for that. Sleep.
Oh, Wait, I have a question. If I
Yes,
use something that
conscious.
requires some sort of save, would that do anything to that save, or would it still just need to make the basic save?
If it's sleeping, it should fail automatically.
Strength and
Great.
dexterity saving throws, it fails automatically. Any creature that hits while within 5 feet of it is a crit. Auto crit.
I have something that requires a constitution save, is why I asked.
You've not fought too many creatures that are unconscious, so you're not 100% sure. Out of character, I'm aware.
I'm asking, I don't know. Like out of character, I don't know.
Roll an intelligence check.
That
Maybe.
fuck. Yeah, fuck it. Alright, well, About to
let's
freak
Liam
out
get the
Ixius.
first shot.
okay.
Alright, so you move over. What are you guys gonna...
I figured that we were just all attacking at once, hell.
Well, we are.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
just letting him take the first
So
shot.
that's the demon, the first shot.
So Zadim, you want to move your character to where you can take a shot at it?
I can take a shot from right here.
He
So
actually can.
Yep, so with advantage, while it is technically a form of prone, due to the fact that it is a large creature that is sleeping rather than being, flailing about prone, I'll say that you would not have a disadvantage to attack it.
And he's got Mr. Noodles.
And he's got
helping
Mr.
him.
Noodles, yes.
Navarre is going to stop Ixius for a second.
Mhm.
No matter what you see me do, it stays in this cavern. Because what I am about to do is to make sure that we survive.
I just nod in confusion.
So yeah, and as you nod, you just hear as the longbow takes a shot.
You said roll with advantage?
Yes, so he got a 16, which that does hit. Roll damage.
Would he still have bless?
16 would hit.
I would assume you would still have bless, yeah.
Yeah, he would still have blast, but yeah, that would still hit. So you do 5 damage as the arrow slams into it. It kind of jolts for a second.
And I take a shot now.
Wait,
Take a shot.
Wait.
Wait.
I'm waiting.
Hunter's mark.
What? Oh, Hunter's Mark? Yep, roll the damage for it.
Okay.
Yeah, next time, just let me know beforehand so we can make sure that's marked on it.
If we're all attacking it first, should we
Doing
really get the hits off before it wakes up? That's my question.
The
Yeah,
first
I'm
attack will
attacking
wake
now.
it up. The first attack will wake it up.
That's what I said, why don't we just attack at the same time?
The first
Because
attack
he
will
has
wake it up
to-
regardless.
Yeah. And he has
I
the
mean,
strongest weapon.
Yes.
So the moment the arrow hits
What?
him, I'm going to.
How much does a longbow do in terms of damage? I keep completely
1d10.
It's a D10.
Okay.
And I'm going to do this.
That's 10 feet.
Oh, you're gonna do what I was gonna do.
Oh yeah, that's 10 feet. I forgot.
Yes, you would have had to stealth up to it to be able to do
Yeah,
that.
I'm not doing that. I'm going to hit with firebolt. And
Let's see here. That
does not hit, probably.
you would still have advantage because it's still technically on the ground. But with the bless, that does hit.
Oh, if it's with advantage.
No, I was going to say
I
because
won't
it's
see if
prone and is waking up, it is now no longer with advantage. But 14 does hit. That's full
Nice.
10 fire damage as it slams into it. And Naivara, it's your turn. That hits. As you hold out your hand, it almost a glowing brand just kind of forcefully creates almost this very pleasant scent in the air, as almost tendrils of sporish dust words burst out around her hand, suddenly grasp back together into a tiny ball, and to just fire out into this creature. As
Doesn't
it's
have to make a save, so so that it's not forced back automatically.
no, that's Eldritch Blast. This is that's right. You
is
have the invocation, so
Yeah.
There's no save for that. It is pushed back 10
Oh,
feet.
it's
Which direction? Do I go straight back
let's-
top or away from you diagonally?
is there any chance that it'll hit the wall and take more damage?
No.
Okay, then just away.
Okay, so it moves back 10 feet. Let me scroll up here so that people can see that you've repulsed the beast into the wall. And it is now awake. It is now looking right at you guys very lividly. And it snarls, which means we're rolling initiative.
I would assume. I mean, I don't think the fucking bitch would just fucking fly off. Excuse me, you know what? I take it back. He will fly off with one of us in his fucking talons.
Alright, so we'll roll its initiative.
Alright, did I roll in the... Oh, I did. My bad.
You did.
Yeah, you rolled it twice.
Okay. Hey, that's Mr.
Um,
Noodles. Leave him
Mr.
alone.
Noodles.
Mr. Noodles is trying his best.
He's doing his best. He's just a big baby.
Blah, 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 baby.
Alright, that's...
I remember.
Naivara.
How long is left on Bless?
I'd say about a minute.
Okay, so 10 rounds.
As this creature jumps to its feet, using half its movement to get up, it is going to move forward 5, 10, 15 as it runs forward, and whipping its tail, you see a series of spikes similar to that which was in the griffin, not the griffin, the hippogriff, as it flicks out, and it's going to make 3 attack rolls, 1 at each of you.
Oh, I
17,
blame
yes,
you
that's
for
going to hit.
this. Like, 13?
10 plus 5, 15 for Ixius,
Yeah, it hits.
and yeah, 9 for Zadim. So that's hits 2 of you. So
Wait. Did you say 13 for the first one?
no, 17 plus 5, so
Okay, yeah,
22
no,
for
hey.
you. So you take 8 points of damage,
Oh!
and Ixius takes 6 points of damage.
That hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts a lot.
Mm-hmm. You managed to get a sneak round on this thing, so you hurt it a lot. It's just
I
returning the favor.
I'm going to kill you when this is over.
Zadim, it is your turn. You just saw a bolt whiz past your head of just this tail spike, just.
Oh, damn. I'm not dead enough.
The cops are here.
Oh no!
He's to be arrested.
Oh no! Your sneak attack was found out. You broke and entered into his home.
It's the fuzz. Yeah, sorry, the cops just came by.
No worries, it happens.
So I'm gonna try using my sharpshooter.
Ooh. So you're going to take a -5 to shoot them. Go
I
ahead.
still have bless.
Would he still being helped right now, or no?
He is still on his shoulder, and you said that it was helping him. So I'll say, let me check real quick about the help action. Does it last for just 1 attack, or does it last until its turn? 1 second here. Attack. Lend your aid when helped gains advantage on the next ability check it takes to perform. Alternatively, first attack, so no.
That's okay. I still have blessed, so
Yes. So draw your bow and take a shot. Okay.
There's your bless.
I just want to
There's
get
your
that
bless.
out of the way.
That's not your attack roll.
That would be painful. That was his attack. 'Cause that's a fucking nat.
That is with the -5. That would be an 11, but +4 is a 15. That hits. So click on that longbow damage. So you did 15 points of damage to it,
Plus Hunter's Mark.
plus Hunter's Mark. As the arrow just, you just kind of take a moment, kind of kneel down, draw your bow, aim, fire, and just almost knocks it onto its side as it slams into it, as it snarls at you. Naivara, it is now your turn. This thing is up and it hit you.
As a free action, can I give it the finger?
Yeah, it hit me
A
for
free
a
action, can
lot.
you what?
In fact,
Give it the finger.
You can give it the finger as a free action. Yes, it did hit you for a lot.
oh, you fucking bitch. Oh, this is gonna fucking suck. Alright. Using spell. Hopefully it's actually one that I can use. Oh wait, hold
yeah,
on.
you have to be within 30 feet to use it.
Damn it! Alright, well then. I'm not getting closer to that bitch, so fuck that! Plus bless, so
Roll that bless.
probably not. 13.
13 does miss. So you shoot it out. It's a little bit more ready, kind of ducks to the side, snarling at you as
I could
well.
have a spike in my stomach.
Yep. Ixius, it is your turn.
I will give healing. I'm gonna cure wounds, Navarra.
Okay.
So
You gonna step
Help.
up to her.
Me!
Which you said Noodles was on him.
yep.
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
step
gonna
up to her.
I'm stepping up to her. I'm gonna touch her shoulder.
Okay, so you step on. You kind of give her just pat her shoulder. You got this.
Runs by the hippogriff. Bye.
Yep. I'm hiding
I'm
behind it.
leaving you.
Bye. As you're ducking behind. Okay. So it is
Yep.
going to.
I'm literally lying down.
Yep. You're just like no. Mr. Noodle's turn.
This is your idea. Get out of here.
Mr. Noodle's gonna move behind him, and he's gonna give another help action.
Basically flaring out its wings, trying to make him look big and scary. Alright. So the creature is going to. Let's see, how far can he move? Okay.
Well, if he's half thing,
No,
then
he
figure
is
30 feet.
on. He is up, and he is able to move as far as he can. So okay, if I can.
45 feet. Stay
No.
away from me.
So it back legs kind of bunch up. It leans back and it takes off, wings in the air. It's going to fly 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45, 50.
Also,
I had
you're
flashbacks to
you're a
Dante.
creature of repetition, by the way.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
If
you
I
did the same thing to us in our early game. Manticore
Wait,
at level
what?
2.
shush.
Ah!
To be fair, I did it to Zadim's in the Sunday game. That's one of their level, I think, like 2 or 3. Although to be fair, I threw 2 of them at them and a hill giant.
Also, to be fair, we didn't have to fight this thing.
No,
We
I
could
did.
have stealthed.
I had
So-
to do it.
you're laying down. Yeah, he kind of did. So you are laying down. So its attack is going to be at disadvantage. First one though is going to be going at the pretty lady in front of him.
I should have cover as well.
You do have cover, so that does add some to your AC. Luckily, what is your AC?
14.
14. You see it coming this time. You're ready. You kind of just tilt your head to the side. You almost feel it brush against your ear and give you a new ear piercing. But luckily, you're just quick enough to get out of it. It throws another one at your friend there. It lodges just right in the hippogriff's stomach. It didn't hit. And it's going to throw the third one at. Nope, that is an 11. So it's thrown off by its own flight essentially, as it's trying to huck tail spikes that are just not hitting you guys, which means that it is now Zadim's turn.
Okay, gonna do sharpshooter again.
All right,
You got advantage.
so taking that -5 to hit. Okay, got another 4 for that. Gosh dang.
Jeez.
I'm buffing our ranger.
Your ranger just flexing all over you right now.
Oh my god.
Roll that attack. That's not your
hunter.
attack. That's your hunter's mark damage. If you hit,
I thought it was for a second. I was like,
no. For 7 plus 4, that does not hit.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, hit, right.
I
That does
know, right?
not include the -5. He said it was a
Ah.
sharpshooter shot.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that'd be a 7 plus 4. That does not hit.
He's tired of your arrows.
Yeah, he's in the air, and you weren't expecting him to be up.
My bow, and I put on my sword and shield.
All right. Naivara, this thing is getting closer to you.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah. It's getting really close to you. Up, so that'll hit.
Get away from me.
Alright, so it takes 8 force damage, and its trajectory just kind of like stumbles, like almost cartwheeling in the air comically as it just gets knocked back. It just kind of looks at you just like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
I'm gonna move over here.
So you basically just dive over the creature as the hippogriff. You're like, nope.
I agree.
Yep.
I'll push her out. Like, get
Hold
your
on.
own hiding spot.
Yeah.
Just gonna double check. I did have a Fanged, so it would have been 13 minus 5 for 8 plus 4 for
8 plus 4 is 12. 12 still misses.
bummer.
I think it's like a 15 to hit from what I can tell.
Well, so far that's the highest number we've had.
Yep. So yeah, so far you guys are trying to hit it, and it's been ducking and weaving, but that Eldritch Blast again, that just kind of that glowing, sparkling, almost spore-like light just sparkling around your arm as you hold it up, that palm of your hand glowing as it consolidates into a beam that just knocks it right back, and it's looking very startled that it was knocked off, but it's kind of just glaring at you slowly. But it is not its turn. It is currently Ixia's turn.
Have I mentioned I don't like manticores at all?
I've noticed.
I'm gonna give myself a healing word.
Okay.
I mean, no matter what, I think I'm at full, so.
Look, I'm like, did you even take damage?
He did.
I took
Okay.
6 damage.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Hey, he's now back to full.
Yep. And I'm just gonna peek around and shoot a fireball at it.
He
Fire
picks
away.
his head up over the fucking hypocrite.
Die. A 13 does miss, but you have Bless, so that does it.
15. Okay, so I was
Roll the
right.
damage.
I like the fact that 2 people are behind cover, like, no, and then the ranger, the actual one who is, like, recognized as the ranged class is out in the open!
Mr. Noodles, what will he be doing? Is he giving him that nice hold on
He's
tight?
giving him another help action.
He's kind of. Have you seen the trailer for How to Train Your Dragon 3?
Yes.
Yeah,
No!
the toothless wings behind his head, just like, ugh. He's doing that
That's
to
a
kind of
power
distract him.
bird dance.
Yeah, it
Or a bird
basically,
paradise.
it's doing that behind your head to try and distract it from the fact that you're shooting it.
I mean, that's a pretty good distraction.
Yeah. So the Manticore, still in the air, is going to fly. Let's see.
Why?
You guys are behind cover. You're behind its snacks. As it lands in front of you, leans forward, and it's. Let's see, actually. No, it is not. Oh, yeah, it is. It is going to lean forward. It is going to attempt to intimidate you, as it says, "You look delicious." I would like
You
you to
see?
make a Wisdom saving throw.
And you can't add bless to this.
Nope. It looks wounded. It looks like it's like on its last leg, trying a heartless endeavor to try and make you think that you're not doing anything to it, but you can see just the damage to it. It's on its last leg as it glares down at you.
Navarre has a wicked fucking grin, and so do you.
Yes. Zadim. This creature looks like it's being stupid and trying to intimidate your friends. What would you like to do?
I will put my shield and sword away, take out my bow, not do any sharpshooter,
Please
but I
God,
will
don't
take a shot
hit
at it.
Okay, so roll with advantage because you got that help action.
Bird of Paradise dancing!
You can't touch this.
Can't touch this.
Plus your
I'm
bless.
sorry.
It a hit regardless, right?
I'm aware, but roll the bless just to see.
What? Oh,
That's-
what? Wait.
Yeah, there you go. Roll the damage.
What happened where? What are you trying to intimidate me?
Damage. And Hunter's Mark. How would you like to do this?
Oh, thank God!
Wow, 2 in 1 session. Okay.
The ranger's
so
got some hops to him.
I'm having exactly 0 of this intimidation, so I'm just gonna knock this arrow, bring it back real slow, and it's going right through his eye into the brain.
Alright, so you aim. This isn't a sharpshooter, this is just a casual shot, and you're basically just like, no. And you just let loose it. As you say, that kind of perks up to like, what? As it whoosh, slams right through its eye, as it stumbles back, just caught off guard, just looks at you all with the one eye it has left, just falls to its side, dead. And that will end combat.
Can I go and hit fucking Ixius in the head for this?
That's up to you. Are you going to let her hit you in the head?
No. I will poison
Oh,
spray your ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab some of that hip grip while they're doing that.
Okay, as you approach, as soon as the Manticore is like confirmed dead, you just hear this bounding, just as Bright Eye immediately slides over and just immediately digs in on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some more so I don't have to find for for a while.
Okay, roll survival check.
I'll say he has help.
Okay, so you have the little Mr. Noodle on your shoulder, just kind of looking over, just like,
Cool. Am I also still blessed for them?
I'll say that for the next couple seconds, I'll allow you to roll it with the bless. Speaking
Plus
of
is
which,
so good.
yep. Speaking of which, with your passive perception, you would notice towards the back of the cavern there is a very, very faint glowing. It's like hidden behind a few rocks. Looks like they were almost slid over towards that area.
Once I'm done with the hippogriff, I'll take gander of that too.
Okay. So with a 22, and with the +4, yeah, you're able to get probably about. You'd probably want to dry it and make sure that it's contained in such a way that you'd be able to use it later. But between that, I'd say you have about, for feeding Miss Bright Eye, my apologies, Miss Bright Eye, can't misgender her. It would probably be able to give her probably, say, about 4 days more of rations.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So as you clean that up, she tries and snaps at it, but you kind of just like, no, you finish your meal, and she kind of just gives this little head shake and digs back in. Moving over towards the back of the cave, behind some of the rocks, you do actually see that it does have a gold drop flower that is growing in the back caverns. There's a little area in the back here that looks like it's got a little trickle of water that is coming down. There's a little bit of a pool that's consolidated back there, likely where it was able to get its water source from to grow in such an area.
Oh, can I take some of the Manticore's teeth and spikes?
Roll a
Or
survival
eight.
check.
Nope.
You're not able to get any of its teeth. Its teeth are kind of difficult. The spikes are just basically, you're just kind of being careful to pluck them out without jabbing your fingers. So I'd say you're able to get about 5 of them. They're thick, like This is a large creature. These are some long ass needles.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe I could bullshit my way through this and fucking smash out a tooth with a fucking staff.
I mean, if you did, you'd have chipped teeth, which would be useless to you.
Damn.
Yes, you're doing that.
I have my arms crossed looking at Navarro.
You're just like,
What?
are you doing? Okay.
No, not that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We will have a discussion with the wizards when we get back. I saw your
Excellent.
abilities. You're not a druid.
I never said I was specifically.
You were presented as a druid.
Then it's not my fault that they gave the wrong class.
Either way, your practice is forbidden.
The reason that I asked you to do this is because I knew that you would react like this. I have done nothing wrong. I have left society alone. I have lived on my own. So why exactly am I going to be presented as something evil?
I never said I was presenting you as evil. They will decide your intentions.
I take it that
Or
your
you
word
can just
means
run away
nothing.
now. I won't stop you.
I will try and head back to see if maybe I can get some people to see reason.
I never said I wasn't going to help you.
I just automatically assume no one ever seems to like to help someone when they see what I am.
Magic is magic. The way I learned mine is different from yours, but it doesn't mean it's evil intentionally.
For someone who likes to toy, you're actually a lot more kind than I gave you credit for. Apologies for my earlier assumption.
It's all good.
Can I ask you to help me with these fucking teeth? Now I think about it.
I'll let Miss Noodles go help her.
Miss Noodles flies off of Zadim's shoulder as Zadim, I'm presuming you're getting the gold drop flower while they're goofing off with the Manticore body.
Of course.
So it flies over and you're able to roll in survival check with advantage for the teeth.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
I'm in a small window, so I have to scroll a certain way.
Right. 18. You're able to get a handful of the Manticore's teeth. It takes a little bit of prying, but every now and then you'll feel like a little, just like a tap on your arm, just like a little more, tap, tap. You're like, all right. And I'd say you're able to get probably about a good 15 teeth. They're not exactly useful for much that you're aware of, but at the very least you have them as trophies.
I was just gonna say that she just, while she waits, probably strings them up with some string. She's a weaver's tools.
You're looking to make a... okay. Yeah, you can absolutely get those 15 teeth. So just mark those in your inventory.
I'm gonna go help him with the flower, by the way.
Okay, so you realize what he's doing, and you're like, Mr. Noodles, help him out. And you go over and...
no, I'm literally going to go help him.
Yeah, no, I know. I said, Mr. Noodles, go help her. And you go over.
Oh.
Yeah, no worries. No, I understood what you're saying. You left Mr. Noodles, you're like, you go over and... it takes a little bit of work. It doesn't have the most deeply enrooted of roots, because it is...
Would I know how long it will last?
How long it will last? If you pluck it...
Before yeah.
If you
Before
make good time, it would take, I'd say, about a week. If you can get it to fertile soil, you can actually plant it in that soil, but for what you're looking for, you're looking to get a part of the roots, just not all of them, but just enough to kind of get the shavings of them, as well as some of the plant's leaves, in order to create the elixir that will help bring your father back to health.
Looking around, will there be any seeds?
Roll a survival check.
I'm gonna have Mr. Noodles come back to me for that.
So as you're finishing
He's
with
gonna
those,
help me look.
okay, so go ahead and roll with advantage, sure.
Investigation.
You find about one. Doesn't look like it's quite the pollination season being fruitful for them, but you do find one that's just kind of lodged in between a rock.
Yeah, I'm gonna pocket that.
So you have that for later. So just mark that you have a gold drop seed. And as you collect this flower, kind of looking between each other, getting ready to head back, that is where we'll end our session tonight.
Oh.
Well, you thought I was gonna throw you to the wolves, huh?
You damn right I thought that.
I thought.
You've been nothing but antagonizing one another. Why wouldn't I just assume? Oh yeah, well, fuck me.
Just because I'm young and playing tricks on you doesn't mean I don't care.
There's,
She doesn't know. She's been in the woods for a while.
Yep, but yeah, you guys have done awesome. Give me 1 second here. Need to let him know that I'll custom call back in a moment. So yeah, I'm going to be stopping the recording and the stream. Thank you all for coming out. We'll be doing this again same time next week, where we're going to be heading back to Silver's Crossing, doing a little bit of a messing around in the city, getting our reward, seeing what all kind of mischief I can get these guys up into, or what mischief they want to try and get into. I don't know. They're always full of surprises. So until next week, see you guys around.
Bye.
Bye.